big up, and welcome to Little 12th Man Show. I'm the Little 12th Man, as well as you are out there in the world, if you represent at least the Reds. And I'm joined by two fellow Reds as well. I'm joined by the Irishman, and I'm joined by Scouse Lee. Irishman, how are you doing today?
I'm okay. Yeah, it's a bit of a TGIF, isn't it? If they're still around, I heard they're giving. I heard they went bankrupt, didn't they? So get
I
your
don't know. Did they go
get your
bankrupt?
vouchers cashed. Yeah, I heard
Yeah, it's much
they
player.
filed. Yeah, they filed for bankruptcy. So yeah, anybody that's got any vouchers to go out and get them, get your fill. But yeah, it doesn't really feel like a Friday, does it? That's what international weeks do to you.
Yeah, there is something feels a little bit different about today.
Uh,
Not a normal Friday.
But
But they did come and collect my bins this morning, which means it is Friday.
Big up to John Conway in the house. Big up, big up. How are you doing as well, Lee? How are you today?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, excellent. Top of the league and all that one.
Top of the leagues, plural.
Full of the joys of spring, even though it isn't spring. Full of the joys of autumn or fall, as you say in America.
There you go. Yeah, top of the leagues, plural. I want to make sure everyone knows and hears that, especially because it is something that you should and we should be all proud of. Oh, big up to Ian, by the way. Big up to Ian. How are you doing, brother? Been a little while. Hope that you're well, as always. You know, always love to see fellow Reds, especially on a TGIF, as Brian just stated. You know, it's pretty wild. So one thing I wanted to talk about, I guess we can kind of go a little bit into it at least, is the fact that we have quite a few players on this team that are exceptional players, obviously, but also represent their countries abroad. And this break, we had 16 Liverpool players be called up for international duty in the break. That is pretty wild if you really think about it. And at least it's the last call up.
Yeah.
For 2024, at least. It's the last call up.
Yeah, we've had enough for this year. Right. I did watch the highlights of the England game, and it was a good goal. Oh, lovely flick from Curtis, wasn't it? Weren't that cheeky? And we all know he's got that in his armour. He can do cheeky flicks, Curtis. I was pleased for him. Yeah, it was a good setup for Morgan Gibbs-White, and yeah, it was made up. And Simmy even got in on it, like by getting a shot in, didn't he? He went through and got a good shot that the keeper saved. So I was pleased Simmy was getting the game as well. Yeah, you were. For the most part, exactly. I want to see our players always play internationals. It's just sometimes I want to see different ones. Like Virgil. Virgil plays a lot of games. I don't think he always has to play for Holland. He even plays against Gibraltar for like 20 minutes or something last year, and I was like, why? It's Gibraltar. I mean, they have got quite a few other centre-halves. That's why I'm hoping De Ligt comes to the Prem, that he gets his career back in track, and him and Van der Ven can play sometimes, right? Do you know what I mean? So Virgil can rest.
Yeah. Big up Hylor, by the way. Big up Hylor.
Yeah.
Brian, he's giving you a little bit of your countrymen and a little shout. He said congrats to Ireland yesterday, and what a match by Kelleher, saving a penalty and man of the match. And of course, Curtis Jones scoring in his debut for England. What a goal. Definitely. So give him a little shout out for you. I am I do want to say that I am a little hurt. The fact that I brought up this young man's name yesterday. People were like talking there a little bit of this and that. And Ricardo Pepi, scores the game winner. 1-0 U.S. men's national team over Jamaica. Hey, it was a great, great day for the U.S. men's national team down in Jamaica. No one even mentioned it.
No, literally, yes, when you meant that was, I think, the first time I've ever heard of the kid was yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So cool. I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, especially you don't get too many Americans being maybe especially American forwards. Goalkeepers, yes, we get it. We've always been pretty much a goalkeeper factory when it comes to producing international talent. What's unique about it in this run or stage of American football or American soccer, excuse me, is that this is probably the lowest point for our goalkeeping. And that's no knock. I'm not trying to take, a swipe at the goalkeepers, just more so the goalkeepers that we have currently are goalkeepers that are either a little bit north of their youth in football terms, you know what I mean? And the one keeper that we do have, shout out to him for yesterday too, by the way. Matt Turner made a phenomenal, if you get to see the highlights, he made a phenomenal save, a penalty kick save against the Jamaican striker, and ended up being very, very vital. He was the one that actually caused the penalty kick anyway. He ended up fouling the Jamaican player in the box, and that resulted in a penalty kick for Jamaica. They stepped up, and he made again absolutely incredible save. So he made up for his mistake. And again, Ricardo Pepe had a great goal. Ended up very early. I think it was definitely in the first 15 minutes of the game, somewhere around there, and struck the ball well. It went. It hit the bar and went in. It was like a ricocheted right in. Very very precision-esque. But he's going through some good spells right now. He's going through some good spells.
Yeah.
And so is Curtis Jones, by the way. You're absolutely right too. Curtis Jones is feeling it right now. He is definitely feeling it.
Yeah, I was so pleased for him. I was so pleased for him to get that flick goal. It was nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, let me add this here. A little celebration for Curtis. Oops, let me make sure it gets proper due.
Well, Harry Kane must have been pleased that he won 3-0 anyway. We touched on that, didn't we? The way he had a cob on about some of the people pulling out. I think maybe it was more Grealish and Foden. Do you know what I mean? That he had a cob on with. I doubt it was with Trent.
They are big names, though. Those are some very big names to have to make up the difference on. Yeah,
Trent was genuinely injured, wasn't he, in that game? And it was right before the international break. He wasn't. I don't know. I don't really know with Foden and Grealish what they're carrying. But I'm suspicious. I'm always suspicious of Pep like that, because I always was with Fergie. Was awful like that. Ryan Giggs, I don't think hardly ever played for Wales when he was in his pomp. He just wouldn't let him play for Wales very often. He was noticed by the Welsh, you know what I mean? They weren't happy, but that's the way it was.
Yeah. Excuse me. And also, like I said before, 16 players is a lot of players to be called up into to the.
Yeah, but remember the first time we were talking about what was it? Last week. Would have been last week. That this is the first time. Oh God, I can't remember what the number was, but it's the first time in 16 years or something like that there's no Man United players in the England squad.
Yeah. I did see that.
How far they're after dropping off. They can't even get just one. Now I know some people are injured, okay, but they can't even get a couple of random guys in there. That would never. Lee is right. If Fergie had his way, the likes of Roy Keane and Giggs never would have gone. It was only when he couldn't stop them, friendlies and stuff, it was okay to try to stop them. That just shows you how far off it now, man, you are. Pretty much everybody, because we were talking about it the other day as well, when we were talking about captains, we were kind of listing off like, well, he captains his national team, he captains his national team, he
right,
captains his national
yeah.
You know, we've got pretty much not just like starters in our team, we've got international captains all across our team. You know, like even Ibu does it. Virgil, that's two centre halves that captain two of the biggest international sides.
Yeah,
you know, it's that stuff makes a big difference.
It does. It really does. It should too. It should, because I mean, like sometimes those, as we call it, intangibles are often overlooked and not rightfully appreciated, because that leadership means something. You know, the fact that like these guys are people that don't necessarily have to be told, you know, how to act or how to respond or the likes, you know, what to expect, those kinds of things, because they've gone through it before. So it makes a big difference, certainly a big difference. Bunch of players, like we said earlier, though, that are out in doing their thing. There was some players, obviously, that didn't partake, got called up, but didn't partake in actual the competition. You know, I was happy to see Mohamed Salah, you know, basically opt out of going. And I think it might have also been a case of not only Salah being proactively smart about it, knowing that the last time he was on international duty playing in I don't want to say subpar, but you know, for lack of a better word, I guess, or not ideal situations with the pitch, he decided to opt out of this, as well as Egypt recognizing that, you know, you want the player to be available.
Don't let Quasi hear you talking trash about African pitches, man.
I know he'll be quick about saying spoiled American or something, right? Oh man, it was the case yesterday too, man. If you do see those I was listening to Charlie talk about he was talking about the pitch conditions, and he kept going on and on about the pitch conditions and the pitch conditions, and I was like, all right, I know we're gonna hear about this, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, as long as it's not dangerous, you know, it's not you've got holes and stuff. Like there was one, because I remember it happened recently. I can't remember where it was, but it was at one of the bigger comps, and the pitch was in a state, and they put a new piece of turf in or something, and they showed afterwards like a guy did his knee because the new piece of turf was kind of just thrown on the ground. You know, it's like, as long as pitches aren't dangerous, who cares if it's a bit thin? You know, everybody's playing on the same surface, so you know, get on with it.
Yeah, and I get that. I do get that. I know when I was looking at the, when I was watching the game, but then also when I was even watching the highlights and hearing the pundits talk about the game. And again, like I said, Charlie Davies was just going on and on. Charlie Davies, I like Charlie Davies, by the way. Shout out to Charlie.
I don't know him.
And he was going on and on about, like, you know, not on, but he brought up the pitch like 3, 4, or 5 times in the same sentence practically. And it was rightfully so. You could see chunks of the pitch, like literally just like torn up. It looked like, you know, it was really, really bad. But again, it was like, you know, it's a pitch that's inside of a Olympic style, you know, track and field style stadium. It's a pitch that's also like, at least for our terms, was one that was just put down recently with the sod that they had put down, and some of it doesn't really like doesn't take a root basically. So it can be dangerous. I know there were complaints about Copa, the conditions of the pitch. There's complaints about other situations with playing on artificial surfaces and the likes. Yeah, it's not ideal, certainly, but it's one where if you're going to have all these fixtures and everything else, you're going to have to deal with it, and it's kind of wild that you know, that we do have to see these kinds of situations, but we do. I know that Endo, Endo
is going to Bolivia.
What's that?
At least you're not going to La Paz or something. You're 20,000 feet up in the the stratosphere. At least it's not that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that could be a different case. I don't know what their games are. I'd have to double check for them. But I mean, it could be a different case for either Maka or Darwin or even Lucho. They might have to take on those rigors of Ecuador or Bolivia or something like that. Hopefully they don't. I have to double check to see what their games are. I know. Shout out to Tyler Morton, and obviously shout out to Kwanzaa, who got a call up for the England under-21s. Shout out to Trey Neone, by the way, as well. Trey Neone got a call up for the U18s, which is pretty cool. He's gonna be a talent. He's gonna be a super talent. Like I know there's a lot of pressure by saying that, but I'm really looking forward to see how his arc develops. And what's unique about those players too is that, like, we were talking about. So there was talk about the January window. There's been talk about the January window possibly bringing in some new players. There's been talks about possibly some signings being done, meaning like some contracts being completed. There's been talks also about no signings being done. I don't know which camp you kind of fall into, Brian or Lee, but I know that there's a bunch of different camps out there. Are you wanting to see us go into the January window? If hypothetically we do, because we are going to be getting back some players, obviously, after the international break. I know that Ali's slated to finally return to the team, or he's not return to the team, but return to the lineup. I know that Diego has hurt. I've heard that Diego's had a little slight setback and that he will miss a couple additional games, that thus pushing his return back to possibly in December. But we will most likely get to see Elliott return. If hypothetically, Diego will come back eventually. If hypothetically we do have a finally fit squad, let's even say Chiesa is match fit ready and he's able to even contribute, maybe gets a game here or there, in December. Does that keep the emphasis on January being a window that we need to go out and bring players in, obviously thus pushing other players out in essence? Or do you think that we should just like hunker down and see if we can make the most out of this the squad that currently sits atop the league in both the Champions League and the Premier League? I'll ask that to Lee, and then I'll bring it to Brian. Lee, what are your thoughts on that one?
About sorry.
Okay, no worries.
I was reading the comments, Dan. I was looking at the comments.
Oh, no worries.
Like it being a quite, it's quite unusual for not. Have Norway ever been in the World Cup? I can't remember them ever reaching the World Cup finals. Have they been there?
Yeah.
Who's this now?
Yeah.
Once, I think.
Once. I can't remember. Remember Egil Olsen, who come and married Wimbledon? Remember him? Egil Olsen.
I think they were at USA. Oh, sure.
I'm asking that because, like, I'll share something.
But yeah, I'll answer your question. I'll answer,
cool.
and Lee will probably know what we're talking about.
Yes, sorry about that.
I don't think just number one. I go away from bringing somebody in does not, to me, at all mean pushing somebody out. No way at all does it mean that. So that's when I say I bring in somebody. That's not about getting rid of somebody. But you can always add to a squad and enhance it. So I bring goals into this team, especially if we're in the position in January where we are now, right? 5 points clear, or if God is good, we might be 6 or 7 points clear. But if it's like one of those things where it's not, let's go out and get somebody. Let's say like the Diaz situation. there was a guy like Diaz that we wanted. We were probably going to get him in the summer, and we could bring him in. And if you could add 8-9 goals to a team, say like when Jota was out, we might have this guy, because Jota. I'm starting to lose patience with this guy's fitness, to be honest with you. But that's a story. That's another thing. But you can't. You could add a guy to this team that could come into the squad without pushing anybody out. That would get enough time. We've still in 4 comps, and if you added 8-9 goals to this team between January and May, that could be a difference maker. But that's what if we were 6th or 7th in the league and we were having a transitional season, I'd be more like, no, let's just keep our powder dry. But if we have a league to win and there's an opportunity, like I say with the Diaz thing, there's a guy out there and we go, no, we should get this guy. We can, all for that, bring him in. But again, just it's a tricky one. But very much like the Diaz thing. If it's someone who we want in 2025 summer, and we think, look, let's just go out and put down an extra 10 million and get this guy in now, because he could push us over not push us over the line, but he could bolster our squad to a degree where we've now got 5 guys that we can call on. You know, we can really turn the screw on Man City here. But oh my God, Liverpool were 7 points ahead and they've just gone and bought this guy. You know, one of those kind of transfers that it's like everyone just says, oh, these boys are serious, they mean business. So I'd love to see something like that, but I don't think it would be essential. And the other parts, maybe DM and all that. Again, if the right player was available, but not sure they are going to be in January, man, to be honest with you. Like the Zubamendi thing coming back up, being linked with Alonso wanting him, and Arteta wants him as well. It's like, ugh. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm not against it. You know I'm not against it. Always improve a team, enhance the squad.
Yeah, I'm really up for it myself as well. If we can add anywhere to give Arnie extra help, then it'd be brilliant. Like Brian said, just adding a few extra goals. I mean, to be honest, the way things are at the moment, we only have 4 options, and it just doesn't feel enough. Only having 1 attacking option on the bench. I mean, we do have we have an attacking midfielder on the bench as well, like don't we in cases usually if Sobo's playing, or the other way around, it'd be Sobo. But only having Cody or Lucho as the striking substitute.
If Darwin starts, it's Gakpo.
Yeah, you need 2, don't you? You need to have 2 at the least. Like to have 2 of our attackers out is leaving us short in it. You know, we're gonna need.
No, we've said that a lot of times looking at benches this season, haven't we? At the start of games, we looked at and kind of going, "Oh well, look, if he wants to change it, he's got Gakpo and that's it, or he's got Diaz and that's it." Especially if Jota is unfit, you know. Yeah, that guy's damned unlucky, Jota, but there's only so much of his bad luck that I'm prepared to eat, if you know what I mean.
Same here now. It's starting to really test my patience. Not against Diogo, like it's got hardly anything to do with him, like as a bad guy. But it's testing me patience now, the number of times that he's just suddenly becomes unavailable for long periods. This one hopefully won't be as bad as the Norgard one, because that one ended the season, didn't it, last year? With about 3.5 months to go. But this one, we're hoping it's only I don't know, 6 weeks or so.
What Ian said though has some relevance too, though. I mean, it'd be different. It'd be somewhat different because, like, you know, I was critical of Ibu last year, but the difference between Ibu was that Ibu was some of the niggles, as you guys call them, right? Some of the injuries he's picking up weren't injuries that weren't impact injuries, you know. They weren't necessarily like injuries where you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense. Like Diego has had 2 players, as Ian just put here, all on top of him. You know,
cursed. Cursed. It's not. I haven't criticized his fitness. I've never criticized his fitness. I've just said this guy keeps getting fucking injured by other people.
Right.
But I mean, there's only so much bad luck you can have in the building, you know. But again, no, I've never. I don't know. Like, he must be looking at McAllister and going, "How can you get whacked like that 3 times a game and never get injured? I get hit once and I'm out for 6 weeks."
Yeah,
that's just Shota's thing, and then you're constantly coming back from injury, is what gets you. I think. You know, I think you're constantly coming back from something. You're always on the recovery from something builds up. But hey, look, if we went out and got in a guy and he brought in and he scored 11 goals between January and some, we wouldn't be complaining. We'd be happy.
This was something that I saw, which was very, very interesting take by the source's Graham Bailey on this one. Let me share this with you. Liverpool have offered Trent Alexander-Arnold a new contract that would make him the highest paid player in the Premier League. The Reds are confident he will sign an extension. Again, Graham Bailey is a relatively reliable source for these kinds of things.
Does anyone know who the highest paid player is presently?
De Bruyne, I think.
De Bruyne or
Haaland, Rodri.
No.
Haaland's.
Haaland got a mental wage because the fee wasn't massive. Did Haaland get a ridiculous?
Haaland is allegedly getting
but KDB is on. I think KDB is on 375, something like that. And there's someone else really close to him. But I think it's De Bruyne. So you'd be talking about that to me says 400.
400, yeah.
Yeah.
To make him
having De Bruyne makes £400,000 a week. Haaland is a close second. He makes £375,000 a week. And
I think Mo is
you're talking about Red Devils. Casemiro, third in the league.
He's on big money.
£350,000.
I don't want to be unkind to Graham Bailey, but I'm calling bullshit on that we'd offered him a contract that puts Trent on more than 400 grand a week. I'm calling bullshit on
that. From what standpoint?
That it's too much money, that we wouldn't offer him like 425 or 450. I don't think FSG would
offer him 401,000.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, by £1,000. But yeah, I think that'd be too much for FSG. I think they'd balk at paying that.
I don't know. I know that FSG also recognizes the fact that it would be a real PR hit if they were to not put something out there.
I believe.
I just see it like this. Let me say this, now. I'll let you chime in. This is just from a agent's perspective, and even from a maybe looking at it from a football manager perspective as well. Love that game as well. I know Brian loves that game too. But just realistically, I know we're getting all these reports from Spain about, Trent's already made his mind up. Trent's already doing testing out papaya or something like that. I don't know, doing whatever these things are, right? He's already getting into Spanish dishes or something like that.
Yeah, for me, if there's any indecision in Trent's mind, it's not the money. It's probably the football. The footballing reasons that are uppermost in his mind about leaving is that he wants to try Spain. He wants to get the squad along with Jude, and he wants to get a higher profile or whatever. I think that would motivate him more than the money. I think that's what would be motivating him more than the money.
Well, what I was going to say from just give me a perspective. I'll give you a perspective to just mull over, see how you look at it. And again, in the chat, this is open for debate amongst the chat as well. What I was going to say is this: from a FSG or a Liverpool perspective, from the back room, if you already know, if Trent already said, "Hey, mates, I'm out. You can offer me whatever you want to offer me. It does not matter. I want to go play in Spain with my best friend, or whatever the case might be." If that's the case, chances are you as a club are not going to hold back in saying that that's Trent's angle. You're not going to hold back and say Trent says he wants to leave. And if anything, you're going to make it known that you made a concerted effort to do something like this is suggesting, and giving him an offer that you can't say, oh, it's not about the money. You make him the highest paid player in the league. I don't know how accurate this is, and I don't think I personally would not go as far as to make Trent the highest paid player in the league. I just wouldn't. That's just realistically speaking, I wouldn't. Do I think that he deserves or could use a pay raise? Absolutely. Do I think that he deserves something that might put him in as the highest paid defensive player? Possibly. The highest paid player in the league that is a defender, minus Casemiro, I guess, because he obviously is a DM. But I mean, let's just go like for the back line would be John Stones at £250,000 a week. Now, if you're to ask me, and I said, oh well, offer him 275, I don't know, something like that, I'm good with it. I'm cool. But to offer Trent 400,000 is pretty outrageous. It's a step that football probably doesn't want to go down, or page or a place that football doesn't want to go down. But all the same, the point of what I was trying to get at is if Trent did say he does not want to stay, then guess what? I don't think FSG would not put that out there to say, look, we've offered him the moon. We've offered him anything he wants, and his mind is made up. It has nothing to do with what we can offer him as financially. It has nothing to do with any of those concepts. It's just more of he wants to go play in Spain. And if that's the case, you would hear about that. I think you would already know about that. Considering we haven't, it in my opinion, says that it's not a done deal that Trent wants to move on to Spain. So
he's never come out and said he wants to leave, has he? So we can only go off what we know. He hasn't actually come out and said he wants to leave. So until that time, we have to work on the assumption that he does want to stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was reading some of the comments here. Let me get through a couple of these comments. Then Brian, please do chime in if you don't mind. Tyler says, when you are in a job interview and somebody's asking, what is your expectations regarding salary at our firm? What do you say? Well, Trent is saying, I deserve ... Dara is saying, Trent is not expendable, a talent for sure, but replaceable. Ian is saying, I think Trent will have the same dilemma Stevie G had. The lure of Madrid and that global star profile and lifestyle, or stay with his hometown team and fight for prizes as part of Arnie's new era. Bernie's saying, I'd rather see Verge or Mo on higher wages. His age is going for Trent. Jimmy says that's a ransom figure in his opinion. And then Ian says, I think if he feels that he can win the top prize with Arnie, he will sign up on a new deal. And I don't know about Trent's living with his parents. And Edward's asking, give him the deal. Either say it's a king's ransom. There was also a report, by the way, that said something on the lines that Trent was waiting on the assurance that Virgil and Mo signed their deals. I really don't think that that's accurate. I don't think that's an accurate statement. I'm just putting that out there as my humble opinion. I guess Brian thinks the same. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was thinking. So I was looked. There's 1,000 ways to look at it. Like another way, like you were kind of saying everything I was saying, but you could spin it the other way. Whereas, if Trent had told them that he was going to leave, he wasn't going to stay, I would do my best to make sure that everybody knew, like you're saying, we'd offered them 400 grand. That we made this huge thing, so that nobody, when he does leave, there can never be any sliver of doubt that it was because we didn't do our best to keep him. Like if we can put a story out there that we put down 400k on the table. We offered him more money than Madrid were going to, which would be the best way of putting it. And he still chose to leave. So, well, what more could we do? Right. That's really all the club will want to get out there. It's like, well, we can't have anyone coming at us saying, oh, sure, Liverpool didn't even offer him a good contract. It's like, no, we want the world to know that we offered him, like the boys were saying earlier, a king's ransom. Right. But just what Ian was saying, respectfully, I think it's the opposite. You said you think Trent will have the same dilemma Stevie G had. The lure Madrid and global star profile, or stay with his home team and fight for prizes. I think the thing we're missing here is that name a trophy Trent hasn't won for Liverpool. There isn't one. Mm-hmm. He's won all the top prizes at Liverpool. Stevie had won nothing at Liverpool. There were no league titles. Stevie was desperate to win a league title with Liverpool, and also then for himself. So he had been coming to this conclusion that he had to leave to win titles. That was Stevie's dilemma. Then we won the Champions League, and he thought we could go on from there. Trent has won everything there is to win for Liverpool. He can say, I delivered a league title to my club. I delivered a champ as part of the team. But I won all those titles for my team. So I think it's completely opposite. It's about whether he, can he stay and fight for prizes apart? Again, he has all those medals, dude. He has them all. So that lure, that dilemma isn't there for him. Nobody in Liverpool can say, oh, he should. If Trent had stayed, we could have won something. We've won everything there is to win with Trent. So I think that's his dilemma. Is that enough? Do I go and win more, or do I just go and take a new chapter, a new thing, and do something new in life? And so when I retire, I can say I won everything with Liverpool and I won some trophies with Madrid or something. Mm-hmm. But that's what I think. It's kind of the opposite to what Stevie was going through.
Okay. I'm asking.
Yeah, I think Dara's being a bit crazy. Yeah, like
$300.
No, not get. Let's say Trent is just saying get rid of him or something like that. But yeah.
Oh, 300,000, maybe. Maybe he's saying 300,000, not 400,000, but 300,000. I asked the chat this question. I said, "What's the max you would offer Trent in salary?" Specific. I asked Dara specifically, and then I also opened it up to the chat to comment as well. Dara's, I think, is saying 300,000, not $300, but 300,000. I think. Bonkers is saying anywhere from 250 to 300,000. Just below his wages. I got you, Dara. Okay. That's cool. Let's see. 275,000, Jimmy's saying max. Let's see. There's one trophy Trent has yet to win at Liverpool, the Legacy Trophy. How do people look at you when your career is over? I'm sure Stevie G has mentioned that to him. But I know Trent is also very aware and well aware of what the
Europa League's the only thing missing from his trophy haul. That's the only one missing.
Well, yeah, that you'd want to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, what his legacy isn't. Trent can't affect how people view him. So that legacy trophy, how do people look at you when your career is over? That's up to people. His legacy, if he left in a respectful manner right now and won everything he's won, his legacy would be intact for me.
Yeah, he's been a big part of a golden era, hasn't it? Although we only won the league once, and the once it was a golden era under Klopp. We were right up there. 90% of the time the Klopp were here, we were right up there. And he was a big part of that. So, he's done great for us. And if he does want to leave, he wants, then, that's his business. We maybe shouldn't have let his contract get down this low. But I don't want to, spit it back in the club's face and say, oh, do you know what I mean? But that has to come into consideration. He's not like all of a sudden, had 2 years to go in a contract and started making noises or something. Like, he is right at the end, and January's almost upon us now, isn't it? Like, so things are heating up.
But just money wise, I would say 300. I'd be okay with that. I think that's about It's a lot.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's not much, but I think
4's too heavy, isn't it, to put someone on 4 to put a right back on? Oh well, over 4, because if he was the highest paid, then he'd have to earn more than 4. Yeah, it'd be too much. I think that'd be too much for one player, and it would. It would also alter our. It will probably alter our wage structure in the long term, wouldn't it? We would start having to maybe give other players bigger wages. So you know,
Pops is adding in. He says, "Why is his salary such a big deal? Pay him what he is worth. He has been here 20 years, or let him move on. The billionaire owners are making a mint of these players." Big up to the chat and panel as always. I get that. I don't know. So how about this?
Pay him what his worth is a good show. Whatever Madrid is
shout, but what is his? Yeah. But then, that is like, what's the that's all subjective, right? In that, what is his worth? Like, as in, so let me put it this way. Right now, currently, I just gave you KDB, Haaland, Casemiro. Those are top 3, right? All making 350,000. At least 350,000. And then you have Salah at 350,000 as well, so he's tied for 3rd. Then you have, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you bring in Bruno Fernandes, Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Marcus Rashford, all making 300,000. Now, could I say that he deserves to be in that list or amongst that list? There's a shout for that. Trent has been a phenomenal player for us. Do I think that he has been to the level where you would say that he should be paid more than Mohamed Salah? I don't think so. Not at this moment. I don't think so. That's just my personal. I don't think I would. I don't think so. Casemiro, I guess, yeah. That's the Red Devils. With their weird and wanky style of bookkeeping with their players. They overpay a lot of players for different reasons, for whatever it is. But I don't know if you make that adjustment with Trent, you then have to make the adjustment with other players, with all the other players on the team that arguably have had as good, if not better, productivity, especially as of late, than Trent. So, like, that's one of those things where it's like a slippery slope for me. That's why I hear what Pops is saying, but it could be a slippery slope in saying, okay, yeah, you give Trent 350,000. Well, then you look at Virgil and say, you got Virgil saying, I'll stay with 220, but then all of a sudden he says, oh, but you're just giving out free money. I'll take some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's like with a transfer, someone says, look, what's player X worth? What's player Y worth? Well, the market decides that. The market decides what a player is worth. If you say player X is for sale, and the highest bid you get, and there's 10 clubs bid for him, not that it's just one club, you get 10 bids, and the highest of those 10 bids is 15 million quid. That's what that player is worth. That's just what he's worth. You can say he's worth this or worth that. But let's say, and this is what from the agent's point of view, they will go out and they will get feelers from the market, which would basically be, let's just say, for instance, my client Trent was come and play for your club. What kind of wage would you be prepared to offer him? Okay, 350. Okay, I'm going to have the same conversation with Bayern Munich, with Inter Milan, Barcelona, and the average wage that he would be getting would be 380. Again, we get it's as a free agent, but we have to do that, right? So, okay, so that's probably some say, so what's he worth? That's probably what a big club is prepared to pay a player like that. So that's probably what his wages are going to have to be. Whether we think it's too high or too low. Again, I don't really care. Yeah, Pop, you see, this is the thing, Pops. blame FIFA, blame the UEFA, blame them all. It's international break, dude. It's hard work here, okay? It's hard work here in the YouTube sphere.
I get you. I get you.
You know. So
Real Madrid's not going to give Trent a 400,000.
Well, that was the story they leaked last week. What the story they leaked last week, that he was going to be on less than Bellingham, or no, sorry, that he was going to be on less than he's on now at Liverpool, than he's currently on.
That would be a slap in the face. That would be a slap in the face. That means that he definitely does not want to continue his career here. He's just set on going to Real Madrid, and he'll do whatever it takes to make it work. Do a free transfer, go take a pay cut. That's you doing the extra, doing the most, basically, as the kids like to say. I mean, look at it this way. You're talking about what you're seeing in the league. Reece James is currently the highest paid right back in the Premier League. Okay? He makes £250,000 a week. Would I be currently Trent Alexander-Arnold is on $180,000. He's in second place. He's on £180,000 a week. And then third place is Kyle Walker at 175, and then fourth is 150,000 for Ben White, and then Mazzarari is at 135,000.
It's interesting.
Trippier at 120,000. What I would say is this: Trent, we value you, we appreciate you. Let's make you the highest paid right back in the league. That is something of a conversation that I could start. Am I going to make you the highest paid player in the league? That's a different story. But I'd be willing to make you the highest paid right back in the league. Let's see. Obviously, I think that's even. I can go with. Let me see. Left backs. I don't think the left backs get that much money, but let me see how much left backs get. Ben Chilwell is the highest paid left back in the league. He makes 200,000. Vardiol makes 200,000 as well. So they're the highest paid left backs in the league. And then as far as center halves, obviously I said John Stones, but then you have Roger Van Dijk in second place at 220, and then you have Fofana at 200,000. So if it means giving him a bump increase, I'd be careful with that word now. A bump increase in his salary, then I'm down with that. I'm cool. I can appreciate that. Going too far that's 350,000, 400,000. That's a step way too far. That's more than that's not only just that's doubling his salary currently. That would be wild. Reece James is the captain.
More than double his salary. More than doubling it, isn't it?
With Chelsea. Hi, Lord. I don't know what the situation is with Chelsea. So, I know that their coach came out and was very critical of Reece James and his leadership. I think why that's too far, Pops, and he's asking me specifically why I think that's too far is because I think that there is a wage style of, like some type of wage scale or wage budgets that you try to keep within the locker room. And a lot of these players, even though Mo Salah is making 350,000, he's making, I'm sure, well over 350,000 a week. With all the bonuses that are involved in his contract, I am more than assured that he's making over more than just the base salary of what he's making. If it's about money for Trent, which is, I get it. You want it. I mean, I'm not trying to take away from people's livelihoods and their ability to achieve generational wealth and the likes. But if it's just about money and that's the only reason why you're going to stay is if you get not only compensated but overcompensated. I just don't know if that's I don't know if that's the right look. I don't think that's the right look. Like, you got to some of the lure of Liverpool should have some bit of a factor in you saying you want to stay. You know, at least that's my opinion. Bring up some other comments. Let's see. Tara's getting crazy. He says, Hyler saying, I'm sure Reece James gets paid more because he is the captain in theory, as he is injured all the time. I don't think that has anything to do with it, to be honest with you, Hyler. Whether he's captain or not, I don't think that doesn't.
No, you don't get paid more because you're captain.
Paid. Yeah, I don't think he gets paid extra just because he's captain. Pops is saying club should have sorted the deals out. Yeah, I'm on board with you on that.
That's exactly. That's the elephant in the room. But again, it's there. We are where we are. So
yeah,
you can't roll back time.
He's saying Laura doesn't feed the kids though. I think Laura does feed the kids, to be honest with you, Pops. Because you know why? Because that lore of Liverpool, the connection of all of it and everything else that goes with the whole, like, everyone hates the word brand and all that and that kind of concept. But I mean, like, if you are looked at as being loyal to Liverpool, guess what? Chances are the fan base, maybe even the city, are going to bestow themselves loyally to you that much more. And that's a part of the lore that he helps build, and the whole circular element of the energy going around. That's what I'm trying to get across. We have a scouser in the room here. He can speak on that. Maybe he thinks differently, or maybe I'm talking out of turn. But what would the lore work with you, Lee?
What is there? All of Madrid are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about. So I've seen people say that if he leaves, hypothetically, if he were to leave, his legacy would be tarnished with them. I see people say that.
I don't think it will be. No,
those kinds of things.
No, if he'd left in a bad way, like where he'd agitated for a move, but his contract's running out.
Yeah.
So if his head's been turned when his contract's in its last 6 months, can we really give him? People will be disappointed, but don't hold it against the lads. You know what I mean? Support him when he plays there, if he plays there. I will anyway. As a scouser, I'll be made up a scouser in the Real Madrid team, first one since McManaman.
No, there you go. There's a totally new angle on it, which is nice to hear. That's a totally positive way of looking at it. If he does go there, you'll be supporting him because
I'll be cheering him on. You have to score goals and do the business. Yeah, I want to hear this scout. Like if he does move, I want to hear him do interviews like for them, like with his Scouse accent.
Go Spanish. Yeah, you see, that's a great way of looking at it. That's a really positive way of looking at it.
Yeah, no,
I think this is what I've been too. He said, Ian saying the lure of Real Madrid is another level, though. On a global scale, Madrid are the biggest club in the world. If you are a player, if you as a player want your profile raising Madrid's the place to go.
Profile Chicago Bulls right now.
Raised the place to go. Top players go there. You know what's wild and crazy about it is, like, I would love to hear Trent say something very similar to what we heard Salah say in our interview. I didn't get a chance to send you the actual link to it, but like Salah in that interview, that roundtable interview, says, he's like, I don't like being thought of as the underdog. He's like, basically he wants to go out there and win it and the likes. He wants to have this. He has this winning mentality, this awesome winning mentality. I would love to be able to start changing that narrative that people have, and I get it. It is something that's already accepted in the likes, but I mean, there's one way to do it, and that's to start winning championships, start winning, obviously, English Premier League, start putting the team in a higher light, being the team that stops Real Madrid from their, all their trophies that they end up getting in the on the European stages. and being that other team that gets the spotlight and starting to create that
Well, we should be the Northern European version of them, at least. Sorry. I was just saying, we should be the Northern European version of them. Like, I'm not expecting us to always be top bit like the biggest team in Spain or whatever.
It's one thing for a Spanish-speaking player to go to something that's culturally, significant for them. But I mean, this is an English-born,
maybe it's a timing
born player.
Yeah.
Saying he wants to go to the more of Madrid, that's something different. I'm just saying.
I think when we get the interview, I mean, I'd love to hear his thoughts, because this is the problem, isn't it? This guy isn't saying anything to anybody, so everybody's filling in the blanks themselves. Mm-hmm. So we're all trying to figure out what he's thinking, because he's just sitting there doing what he's doing in that picture, just poker facing it out. Just not a word to anybody about anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to see more players like Trent, especially, come out and say, you know what, Madrid,
Liverpool is the place to be.
Some of these great places, in the world were calling out for my name, to sign on the dotted line. And I thought there's no better place to to continue my legacy or continue what we're building and doing here than Liverpool.
You may well get that too. I may well.
I hope I do.
Yeah. No, we're all here hoping for that. We're all look.
Real Madrid, it is the one place. A bigger club as Barcelona are. It's not the same thing in the same way that we're streets ahead of any other English club for our deeds in Europe. So Real Madrid in Spain or anywhere on the continent, you know what I mean?
Right.
Real Madrid is the place to go. Like Ian was saying then, one of the guys anyway in the chat saying, it is the place to go. It is the premier club globally, like whatever anyone says. People go on about Man United being massive commercially and that, but they're not Real Madrid. They're not the name Real Madrid. They never will be.
Why not dream big? Stop. That's an underdog mentality. We are a champion.
But what do you think about Healer is saying? I mean,
the question. I see the question. That one.
Yeah, he kind of ruined it a bit with an irrelevant stat at the end. But I mean, that stat isn't relevant to what you're saying, Healer. To be honest, it's just not a good one. Not good use of it. But you're saying, how would you justify giving Trent the best contract at Liverpool? He's not our best player, nor is he our most valuable player either. If he was on a 4-year contract, I think he would be potentially our most valuable player on the market. Again, he's not, because he's on a free.
With his age, and if he was under a good contract, like, and that, possibly so.
Yeah, I think is he our best player by a country mile and all that? No, but he's probably one of our. He's in the
conversation. He's in the conversation.
He's in the three. He's in the three, really. But yeah, I don't think we would be giving him the highest rate again, because this is all just paper talk, right?
Yeah, it's all paper talk right now. Obviously, too, there's a lot of conversation being brought up by Madrid. But papers or the journals in Spain that are just clickbaiting things and driving the narrative so that they can try to also assist Real Madrid in getting just another name to the list. It's just one of those things. I don't get it. Like, truthfully, I'm like, it's wild. It's very wild to see that he would want to possibly, like I said, obviously tarnish the legacies.
I suppose
so I think the
bigger question here, a tiny bit, 12. I think but basically, I think the overarching question here is: do people think that he deserves to be, should be, whatever word you want to use, be the highest paid player at Liverpool? I think that's basically the overarching question I'm seeing from here, and it's basically coming down to not really the numbers, but it's more like people are saying, "Oh, yeah, but he shouldn't be the best player at Liverpool." And then so there are other people saying, "Who cares whether he's the highest paid player?" I think that seems to be a bit of a sticking point for people, because some people will say, "Well, how can you say to this guy you're paying more to Trent?" But it is. It like I mean, we live in a world now where I say a right back. We know he's Trent. He's not just a right back, but a right back can be worth 400 grand a week.
That's wild.
That's a big. That's crazy.
Wild.
A bump to 250.
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's a right back. There's not a right back in the world that makes that kind of money. Not even remotely close. I think Reece James is like actually the highest paid right back in the world.
And it's just 250, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you gave Trent that'd be a bump up of 70 a week, wouldn't it? 70 grand.
Yeah. If you were to tell Trent, hey, we're going to give you, I don't know, let's say it's 260 to make it, make him the highest paid, But if you were to tell Trent, hey, we're going to give you a 80,000, because he makes 180,000 currently. If you're going to give you 80,000 pound increase to your salary, that is significant. That is certainly significant. It would then bring you to be the second highest paid player on this team.
Yeah.
That's significant. Man, that's not saying, and again, that's like, I get Trent is a phenomenal player. Would I rate him over Virgil van Dijk? No, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I think Virgil van Dijk is the best defensive player in the world. Is he paid? He's not even the highest paid, and Virgil van Dijk's not even the highest paid player in his field.
Yeah, I think if Virgil walked out the door tomorrow or in January, we'd feel it a lot more than if Trent walked out the door, because we've got Bradley at right back, we've got Joe Gomez, but at centre back, if Virgil went and we were left with just Ebu, Jarrell, and Joe, we'd be up against it, wouldn't we? Like immediately. So Virgil, what's Virgil on? Did you say 220?
He's on 220.
Yeah.
So if Virgil van Dijk doesn't care about the wages, why should Trent Alexander-Arnold have to suffer? That's the question for me from Pops. I do read your questions in the chat. I do see your comments, obviously. I try to make them part of the conversation. But why I'm saying that is because, well, maybe Virgil van Dijk likes maybe he's attracted to the aura that is Liverpool. He's an aura guy, right? Maybe he's attracted to the aura that is Liverpool. Maybe he understands the fact of he could do the Rudiger, play for Chelsea, and win a European Cup, and then or a Champions League Cup, and then go on and play for a Real Madrid. He could easily do something like that, but I don't think that's in Virgil's. I think Virgil and Mohamed Salah have every intention on re-signing. That's my personal opinion. I'm not in the locker room. I don't have like some inside source. I'd read the same journals, if not more or less than everyone else does out there. But I honestly do think that Virgil and I think Salah both want to remain here. Yeah, I think they both want to remain here at this club. I think they honestly do. And I think that they would look to possibly, at least at some stage, at least for their maybe European campaign, retire as a Liverpool player. For at least they're not saying that Virgil can't go and play in Saudi Arabia or USA or something like that later on, or Salah do the same. That's one thing. But I'm just talking about their European campaign of work.
That's a much better question, Helor. Good look at an answer out of 12 man on that one, though.
Did Ebu play the full game for France? Did he against Israel? Did Ebu play the full game?
Oh, I did.
I could find out for you. Give me 1 second here. Ian saying they'll take the fifth on this one. The question was, what about this question? If you had to say no to one of the 3 contracts coming up, who would it be? And then Pops is saying they all want to be here. In his opinion, it's up to the brains to make it happen. Mo and BBD are way too good still to be put out to pasture. If they all 3 want to, that's cool. They all 3 want to is cool. I just from my reading, out of all the 3, like Virgil was looked at as being a safe bet to get it done. It was sounding a lot of the reports were coming out there that Virgil's contract was pretty much just working out some finer points. He wants like 3 years. They're offering him 2, very similar to Salah's situation. You know, he would like 3. They're offering 2. They can meet somewhere in the middle with whether it's meaning like an option or something along those lines. I think they can get that.
A lot of Ibu didn't play against Israel from the start. I don't know if he came on, but Kunde and Saliba played, so Ibu got a rest against Israel. I'm glad about that. At least from the start, he did anyway. I'm hoping he rested the whole game.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can tell you what that was with him, if Konate played or not. I know some games are already taking place right now. Pretty much all nil games except for the Spain Denmark game at 1-0 to Spain. Let's see. What about France?
See, Argentina got beat off Paraguay, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So you want to know if he played in the game against Israel, right?
Yeah, he didn't start.
And he did start, and he did get a full 90.
Well, I've just looked at the highlights, and it said that the starting lineup was at centre back was Kunde and Saliba. It said
against Israel.
Against Israel, yeah.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Christ, a match for ages ago that I found. And I only
you might have seen the wrong one, but like, it was a 0-0 draw. 0-0 draw against Israel. The back line was Kunde, Konate, Upamecano, and Hernandez. Upamecano and Hernandez.
Yeah, I typed
in the midfield was Kante, Camavinga, Elise, Zaire Emery, Barcola, and Colo got the start at striker. He was not subbed off either.
Okay. Where bloody hell that came from then? What I just found then with Saliba and Saliba.
You gotta watch that fake news.
Yeah. They must have given me an old 0-0 draw against Israel from last season or something.
Maybe so. The Argentina game was a game where, surprisingly so, that Paraguay got a 2-1 victory, and that is a qualification game, by the way. So that game does matter. I'd have to see where the standings are for them now. That helps Paraguay get into 8th place. Or 6th place, 6th place, which means that they would qualify for the World Cup currently. Argentina still sits atop the league. And in that game, McAllister didn't have that great of a game, but he also was subbed out in the 64th minute. So they're there.
That's not too bad, is it?
Garnacho. was the player.
The 4 players I'm fretting over are the 2 centre-halves and Gravenberch and McAllister. They're the ones I'm fretting over when they go away on internationals.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting what they do with the return of the players. Very interesting to see what they do. Argentina has Peru. Some high altitude there too. They have a lot of mountains, but Peru is their next opponent. And let's see who else. Colombia is going to be taking on. So it's going to be a matter of Lucho versus Darwin today. Because Uruguay, actually, pronounce it correctly. Uruguay is going to be taking on Colombia today, and they are going to also have Ecuador as the game. So the next game, but they host Ecuador. They're in Colombia for that one, which is good. So there you have it. Let's see what also. I'll tell you what Uruguay's got lined up for themselves too.
I've found the right highlights now with Ibu playing for the Israel game. I've found that one. Yeah, he did play.
Yeah, Uruguay's got Colombia. Obviously, like I said, today at 5 o'clock, or not 5 o'clock my time. So in like about 3.5 hours, a little over 3.5 hours, and they're going to be playing against Brazil in the following matchup, actually. And Darwin is going to be available for those games. So the last I saw is going to be available. Current, put Kanate. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Seeing if there's any comments, any more questions. I didn't answer. I kind of avoided the whole which one would I take question.
Oh, I told him you would. I said, good look at and answer it. Lee can answer it. Lee might answer it. He said, if you had to say no, either asked, if you had to say no to one of the 3 upcoming contracts, like the Mo, Virgil, and Trent, which one would it be if you had to say no?
Mm-hmm.
If I have to do without one of them players?
Well, if you had to say no, I'm just reading it the way he wrote it. If you had to say no to one of the upcoming.
What you mean? Not offer them a contract?
I have no man. I don't know. It wasn't my question. I was just trying to read out the question.
You can only. There's 3 players. Out of those 3 players, you can only offer a contract to 2. Which 2 players are you offering contract?
Maybe. Oh God, that is tough, isn't it? To exclude one. Virgil's the priority for me. But the other 2. You've got to weigh up like Trent's age and Mo's age. Tough one. Don't want either of them to leave. No, I can't answer that question. Can't answer.
Unlucky healer. I tried, man. I tried. I'll answer it for you. I'll answer it for you. If no one else will. So out of the 3, you have to say no. One of them. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, gone to your head, Salah. I suppose because the 2, Birds is important. Trent is the future. Mo's 32 or something. But yeah, just to give him an answer, just to actually stand up and take it, give him an answer. So yeah, I'd probably go with Mo.
Wow, it's tough. It's a tough question.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a matter of what perspective you look at it. If you're looking at it for like,
I what player would you? Trying to pick one
for right
because nobody else
now,
can give an answer.
Right here, right now situation.
Yeah, I was picking up the slack. I was taking one for the team. Can't lose our reputation as the people's channel,
Yeah, I saw an interesting question out there. I know we haven't done Survivor Series in a little while. We have to get back to the Survivor Series as well. If you're doing a power rankings, and I'll again, I offer this to the chat. Please put your in order from top to bottom. What would be your power rankings for players? What would be your current power ranking for the top 5 players on Liverpool currently? That's obviously nothing to do with like to say what great player they are or generational talent. None of that stuff. It's about their current form. Who do you think is in the best form, second best, third, fourth, and fifth best form on the team currently? If you had to go from top to bottom, I think that's an interesting question.
Ryan's been in good form to take the season so far.
You see,
let me hear
this.
What?
Sorry, Healor. Nobody will answer your question. These boys ran and hid. I tried to answer your question. I'm the only one who stands up, and now he wants to debate me. Now he wants to debate me on it. Elor, man, come on. I threw you a bone, dude. I threw you a bone. Come on, man. Leave me alone. It was a hard question. It was a horrible question. So, and you still haven't given your own answer, by the way, Elor.
Wasn't in the side.
Yeah.
When we
you haven't given your own answer, Elor.
Didn't we? So. That's never happened when Trent or Mo hasn't been missing a lot, but he did miss a good few months last season, and we coped fairly well, I thought. Did you? Although we ended up running out of steam because Klopp's announcement sunk in.
I know you did, Dara. I just mean from the panel. Yeah, that's the curse of the AFCON, wasn't it? He went to AFCON and came back with a hamstring, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hamstring. Yeah.
And we did okay, didn't we? We did okay with what we had, the options we had.
Yeah. Anyway, horrible question. But yeah, the power rankings.
Let me see if I'm sure people would. I'm sure people are waiting to take a bite at that apple.
Yeah, power rankings.
Let me see what the people suggest are their picks.
I think Lucho's form's been good on the whole since August. It's just lately it's taken a bit of a nosedive, but since August, Lucho's form's been good.
Okay.
Lucho, Ibu, Ryan. Alexis has been so-so. It hasn't been his best period for us. He's had better periods than the start of the season, Alexis. Ditto with Sobo.
Okay. I'm looking to see where people. I'm waiting to give the chat a little time to put their answers in. Then I'm going to bring.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with right now on the power rankings. Mo top. Mo will be top. Mo is doing better this season than his first season in terms of combined goals and assists. He's down on goals, but he's way ahead on assists. So he's actually doing better in GA than his first season, which was that ridiculous season. That's going a bit under the radar. Grav would have been up there higher. I think, again, Virgil's form is going under the radar. So I would say Salah, Virgil. Again, Diaz has been out the last few weeks. So you're saying right now, like really, like forget all the other stuff. He's been in and out a bit. So I would go then Ibu. Then so that'd be Salah, Virgil, Ibu, still then Grav, and still then Lucho.
Yeah, Queven's form's been good, hasn't it, recently as well? Queven's form's been really good.
Wait, so I'm going to put him down again. You said Salah.
Salah top. VVD second.
Okay.
Ibu in third.
Okay.
Grav in fourth. And Grav in fourth and Diaz in fifth.
Okay. Okay. That's a legit. That's a pretty legit order. Let me sure I put that in there. do you want to take a stab at this one, Lee? Join the select. I'm gonna star all your answers. I see Max's. I see yours. I see Ian's. I see Bonkers. I see Bernie's and Hash's. Big up, Hash, by the way. Big up. It's good to see you. Okay.
Yeah, if current form is the currency, what we're on.
Yeah, it's just current. It's current form. Where they're at currently. It's not. You're not making a rate. You're not saying the quality of what player they are in your opinion, or something like that. You're saying their form, power rankings like that.
Yeah. I would say Ibu, Ryan, Virgil, Mo.
Ibu. Hold on. I'm typing them in for you. Ibu.
Ryan.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Virgil, Mo, and Queven.
Okay. It's a legit. And okay. Let me add this in. Okay. So, oops, that's the wrong button. So let me see these answers so far. So Max has gone with Ibu, Grav, VVD, Curtis, and Salah in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 spot. Ian went with Diaz, Mo, Ibu, Grav, and Virgil in his power 5. Bonkers went with Ibu, Salah, Grav, Virgil, and then Lucho. Bernie went with Mo, Verge, Diaz, Ibu, and then Grav. And Hash went with Grav, Kanate, Salah, Kelleher. I think that's the first shot for Kelleher out of the chat. And Virgil in 5th place. And then obviously we just heard Brian's picks. And we just heard Lee's picks as well. Interesting. It's good to know that we have a lot of these players in like such high form, to be honest with you, because we certainly use them in the form that they're in. I think there's
Diaz was pushed out of mine has been the last few weeks. Despite his hat-trick against Leverkusen, his ball the last few weeks hasn't been as good as earlier in the season. I felt he was our best forward earlier in the season, but now Mo's in better form than Lucho is at the current moment.
Jimmy's saying Ibu, Grav, Kelleher. Well, he put 6 players in here, but okay. Ibu, Grav, Kelleher, BBD. I guess Salah in 5th, and then Diaz in 6th place. Hylor says Grav, VVD, Salah, Kanate, and Diaz. It's a recurring theme here, I think. Ibu, Grav, VVD, Kelleher, and then Mo. Okay, and then psychedelic.
Mo got to stay at home and didn't have to go on this trip with Egypt. That was really good. Mm-hmm. It's not a physical thing that I ever worry about with Mo. It's just a mental aspect. I'm pleased he's got a mental rest for a fortnight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Salah, Grav, BBD, Ibu, and Diaz. Definitely a little bit of a recurring theme. No shouts for Darwin in there. Okay. No shots for Darwin. I got you. What's that?
He's trying, isn't he, Darwin? He's trying. He's not up there.
You know what? Wait a minute. Let me double check here. Wait, hold on. Let me just double check here. You know what is wild? Is I'm looking at everyone's top 5s, and I don't think anyone put Cody.
No, his current form's good as well, yeah.
Cody is like by far one of the top, definitely top 5, I think. Not one person for Cody.
Yeah, in the last few weeks, he's been crucial, like, hasn't he?
Agent Cody.
Yeah.
Reporting for duty. I know you are always. Go ahead.
See, it was just like that was the problem with Diaz. It's kind of him and Diaz have been sharing minutes. But to be honest, actually, yeah, I had Diaz in my 5th position because I kind of I wasn't rushing it, but I was. I would, because it is the power ranking thing, so it's on like red hot form as opposed to. So yeah, I'd swap Diaz for Cody because Cody's been doing it definitely more recently.
I mean. Okay, and
because I can't drop my other 4. My other 4 are Ibu, Grav, Mo, and VVD. So I can't drop any of them out. So yeah unfortunately, Cody's just going to bump. Cody can bump Diaz out.
KJ saying he has Ibu, Kelleher, Verge, Cujo, and Grav. He's also saying we have about 10 players on good form. That's why 12. I got you.
Yeah, Cujo.
I mean, there are a lot of players to choose from. You gotta make. People ask us to make the hard decisions. We're doing our best. We're doing our best. Let me see. This isn't necessarily your top. Was this your top 5 in that top 5 players, or are you saying this is your power rankings, Trap Joe? I want to make sure that you understood what we were trying to do. We should do that too. We'll make that like I don't know. We'll make that into tomorrow's session. Then we'll make a top 10 power rankings for players tomorrow to put together for our list. Make a list of the top 10, but for right now, the top 5. Just seeing what people are putting is very interesting. I don't see how I would have put especially. I mean, we're talking about Lucho coming off a hat trick, and then Cody has scored in practically almost every game he's been a part of. He's been lighting it up.
Well, that's the thing. It's
hard
to split the 2 of them.
Yeah. Hey, it's his top 5, Dara. It's his top 5. He can put whoever he wants. You can put whoever you want in your top 5. I'm sure if Marion was here, she would have Darwin number 1 in her top 5. So, and I think Darwin has been playing well. I don't know if he's been top 5 playing well, but he has been playing he's definitely top 10. I would definitely say
that's the thing about a power ranking. It means that you kind of get to ignore everything else and you go, well, that guy scored a hat trick in the last game. So, you get to be that recent about it. So usually you can ignore all the other bits and pieces. But even then, it's making Diaz and Gakpo a little bit difficult to split because they've both been in top form and both done it recently.
Can I say something to that I saw Bernie say, which is spot on? For everyone that was saying, I don't know if Pops is still in the chat or not, but I know that Pops was very vocal in the chat about pay him what he wants, pay him what he needs, pay him whatever he asked for. I didn't see anyone put Trent Alexander-Arnold in the top 5. I don't think I saw anyone put TAA in there. Did anyone put Trent?
No, I don't think Trent got a look in.
I don't think Trent got in there. I mean, you're talking about someone that people are talking about paying 300, 400, whatever it costs, whatever it takes. That player is not even currently in our top 5 for power rankings.
The crazy world of football.
Yeah, the great world of football. Great world. It's just interesting questions, people. I appreciate the fact that you are participating the way that you are, giving us a lot of love by choosing this channel to congregate on a Friday evening for some, Friday morning, if not afternoon for others. Possibly even maybe it's even getting into Saturday for some. But yeah, very interesting list, man. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm trying to think of, like, I've seen all these selections. I'm now trying to put together my list here in my head. What would be for me?
Well, Healer is just throwing around hand grenades here. He said, an even more provocative question: is Diaz a better striker than Nunez?
Oh gosh, we're going there.
Oh,
we're going there.
Fairly provocative, that one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when's the last time Darwin scored a hat trick? I mean, if we're going down that road. No, but Diaz ain't. Yeah. No, I'm not touching. I answered the last one and nobody else did, so off you go.
Yeah. Off you go with that one.
You can have that one.
I saw the
better wide forward than Darwin, but he's not a better central forward than Darwin. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. It is.
I think Jones is unlucky, Dara. Jones is unlucky not to get into more. I think I was expecting a lot more Jones shots.
Yeah, I was too.
Jones, he's been in good form, but he hasn't probably played enough to get in. He hasn't played enough minutes, like in the recent games. He has had a few games, but like, yeah, in the last, I don't know, say the last 6 or 7, he hasn't played that many minutes, has he? So to put him in the top performing players would be hard, given he's only like started 2 games, something like that. Probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to play starting, really.
Trent has credit in the bank. He's been at the club since he was about 6 years old and helped us win all the trophies, like the scientist is saying. Bernie's saying Nunez is the most disappointing goal scorer for the price we paid. Diaz is better value for money. Okay.
Oh, Diaz has certainly been better value for money. Yeah,
pound for money. Yeah. He came in. I mean, what was it? How much did we pay for Diaz?
40, around 40. Like, I'm sure there's add-ons, but maybe.
Yeah, Jones 40. Is getting shouts for being at the 6th spot, or maybe even the 7th spot for some. I don't agree with Max's take that Trent is deliberately playing bad because they're not signing the deal. I don't think that, in my opinion, is what Trent is doing right now.
I don't think he's playing badly. I think he's playing a more
defensive-minded role.
Yeah, and that's to do with the tactics. He's doing what the manager is telling him to do. I think his numbers are down, but I think he's just doing what normal fullback numbers kind of do. I just think it's a different, more reserved, controlled team, not just Trent. So I don't agree that he's playing badly, but yeah, he's not the Trent, before of, bombing down the wing and getting. He'd probably have 5 assists and a goal by now, but yeah, the idea of playing badly because you're on the I think the manager and the staff, they'd sniff that out pretty quick if your attitude wasn't right, and you wouldn't be. Because we've seen it before with players, and they do that, and they're all of a sudden they're out of a team, no matter how good they are. And fans are like, why isn't that guy starting? It's like, well, why do you think he's not signing a new deal? So I think if they were in any way unhappy with Trent's commitment and attitude, yeah, I think he'd be on the bench. I don't think he'd be in the squad. I don't think he'd be on the pitch.
Yeah. Nunez is a Ferrari that needs servicing. Diaz is a Toyota, very reliable. Okay. All right. Psychedelic Scientist says, disappointing start for Dom and Mac 10. Wait for that Psychedelic Scientist. Hopefully you'll tune in to my Dominic episode that I'm going to be bringing out pretty soon. Let's see. Bonker says Jones. I already said that one. Said that one. Yeah, it is interesting. Some recognition. There's only so much you give to Joe. Joey G has unfortunately not had the platform to showcase his contributions, really, other than he did in that game. In the 1 or 2 games he's been in, he has played well. In one game in particular, he played pretty phenomenal. Played above above average, or I would say good or positive. Probably should have scored 1 or 2 goals there. I was hoping he would score one of those headers that he had. He has some great headers in there. But yeah, it's interesting. Cody, not a pick on anyone's top 5 power rankings. Cody would be
until I did. I put him in mine.
But now you bumped Lucho. Yeah, Lucho and Cody.
Well, there's only 5 places.
I know. I get you.
Everyone got 6. So if I can get 6, Lucho is my honorable mention.
Yeah.
But so would Jones as well. I didn't see it, but everyone's talking about how good he was for England last night, saying he ran the midfield.
You think that's think that's part of the bias or something, or?
No, I was just saying I didn't see. No, just bringing it up. It's I caught like 2 minutes of En's show before you started, and they were just like, En's was just waxing lyrical, going, I think this is what England have needed. Like he was. When Jones was getting on the ball, they looked really good, and when he wasn't on the ball, they dropped off and all this kind of stuff. And Lee was saying he had a lovely assist. So, yeah, this is nice. He's having a very productive month, isn't he? He's become a dad. He's back in the team. He's playing well. Mm-hmm. Now he's playing for England and getting all the plaudits.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, options. So he's saying, look, let me say this. So this is the second one.
This can only help Curtis's confidence to come back and, having a successful stint away with the international side. I mean, he's fairly new to the international scene, to the full international scene. He's been on the under-21 international scene a lot. So the full international scene is quite new. So to get a goal like that, yeah, it's massive for the lad. And I'm buzzing for him. And hopefully it'll spare him on when he comes back to even greater things.
Yeah. Hylor is saying, look at our positions ranked. Left wing, Diaz, Cody. Number 8 is Jones and Dom. Ali, Kelleher. He considers our best, maybe Trent Bradley, as our 4th best position right now. Striker is maybe our weakest. I think that's not my opinion on that one, but cool. Very, very cool. Everyone's welcome to their opinions. I don't know if striker is our weakest.
So he's saying that our strongest position is left wing. Our second strongest is number 8. Then it's goalkeeper, I consider best. And
then he's saying right.
But what about the number 6? I mean, I'd rank our number 6.
I think the 6 is our best. Is possibly the best. Yeah, it's what holds our whole team together.
Yeah,
that and the center back pair. He didn't put BBD and Ibu in there, and he didn't put
them above Jones and Sabo and Ali and Kelleher even. Again, it's an interesting way of looking at it.
It is. It very much is. Yeah, I don't know if he's underrated. He might be underappreciated, but Trap Joe, when he's talking about Gomez, is very underrated. The poor guy doesn't get enough minutes to be always in top form. He might be a little bit.
No, I think he's very highly rated. I would say he's very highly rated. Yeah, definitely.
I think he's rated. I think he might be just a little bit underappreciated.
Yeah, like we highly rate him, but you see people wanted him. England, yeah, it's just one of those guys where, sometimes you come along and you were a centre half and a right back, and there's a long queue of people in front of you. Especially if you're out for a year, you're out for 8 months at a top team like Liverpool or an international side like England, they always have about 6 centre halves. So to get in that team. I just think he's by virtue of not being like a super outstanding guy, he just never gets the credit really that he deserves. But I'll always say it, never stop saying it. We won a league with a centre half pairing of Joe Gomez and BBD. That was it. By Liverpool fans, Gomez very highly rated, surely, and by people in the game. I mean, Newcastle were prepared to buy him. There's lots of clubs out there prepared to buy this guy. He's not underrated, I don't think. Like, I think 12 is saying he's just not talked about. He's a very under the radar type player. I just think by people who know football and people who look at him, they all know he's I think, I'd say highly rated player.
Yeah. Yeah, I would most likely. I'm trying to think of what my power rankings would be. I think I would probably go, if I was rating, I would probably say Lucho, Cody, Brav, BBD, Ibu. That's my 5 players that are currently the rankings, dealing with the rankings for a power 5. They're probably top 5. So you got it there. You got it out of me. You got my top 5. Well, I asked the question, so I think there's only shooting. Yeah, it's only
Mo. Interesting. No Mo.
Yeah. You think about it now. I think about it, you're right. Mo. I didn't say Mo in there. Because then I'm thinking of like, who do you bump out of there? If I was to maybe if I was going to put Mo in there, I'd have to. It'd be a weird bump because I would probably then take Grava out and just move everyone up, and then move Salah as my 5th choice then. Because he said it himself. He's he might not have the greatest of games, but he scores or gets the assists when you need it the most. Sometimes it's about having moments more so than just having, outright start to finish great games. So, because I know I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, he scored a goal," but other than that, he was garbage. Or he was bad. He was this or he's that. So, yeah, I'd probably say
you can say that for 2 games. You can't say that for 11 games. Where
for Salah.
Yeah, you can say that about him for a couple of games, but when after 11 games you're still saying, "Oh, he didn't score well, but he got a goal or he got an assist."
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time he didn't get a goal or an assist in a Premier League game?
Yeah, you're right about that. You're totally right about that.
So, I mean, it gets a bit thin after a while. I didn't like it at the start of the season. I didn't like that argument at all. It was like, it's a couple of games in. We've got a new manager. We've got a team that's trying to, transition to a new era. And we got a boy sitting on the right who, okay, he's not, I don't know, whatever people were expecting him to be. But every single game, almost without fail, he's either scoring a goal or creating a goal.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take that out. You don't go. I was talking about people going looking for problems. I mean, that is not a problem. It may be something you can do something about a lot, but as long as he's contributing a goal or assist every game, he's playing well. That's what's so. Like I said earlier on, someone did a video about him 2 days ago and highlighting basically that nobody's talking about the fact that what he did in his first season, his 47 goal season or whatever, was incredible. But this season, he's actually contributing more and just as regularly. Where is the issue with that? There's 11 players on a pitch. You're not carrying a guy like that. That's the opposite of carrying a player. I've heard people saying, "Oh, we're just carrying Mo." No, he's carrying the team. It was 0-0. He scored. It was 0-0. He created a goal. It was 0-0. He got taken down for a penalty. That's not carrying. So yeah, it's going very, very underappreciated what he's doing. So, like I said at the start of the season, it looks like he said, even if it is my last year, I'm going to go out with some top numbers. I'm going to go out hitting big numbers. No one's going to say, "Oh, he phoned it in for last year." Nope.
I do have a question. Speaking of, it's a decent segue into this.
I hope this 2 weeks mental break helps him get the bit between his teeth even more.
He loves a holiday.
Yeah, I was pleased for him to have a mental break. He's a good physical specimen, so it wasn't that I was worried about. It was just nice to hear that he'd get a rest for 2 weeks. Like,
yeah, he loves those kind of, you know, white beaches and those kind of like private island type holidays. You can tell he loves a holiday. 2 weeks in the sun, Mo comes back, hat trick, guaranteed hat trick. That's what he needs right now. At his age, you know.
Let's hope it's against Man City. Or Real Madrid. But Man City would be the preference for me.
I do saying, speaking of Mohamed Salah, and also speaking of these power ratings, there was a comment that was put out there that kind of was interesting to see. It was made by Mohamed Salah, apparently, to one of our young players. And this is it. Let me introduce it in here. Stefan Bajcetic was proclaimed Liverpool's best player by Mohamed Salah. It says, but the Starlet is determined to keep his feet on the ground and after being loaned out to Red Bull Salzburg. That's very high praise to hear from Mo, that you are the best player on this team.
Yeah.
What did he mean? Like, he obviously didn't mean the best player at Liverpool. Did he mean like best young player or? I mean,
Mohamed Salah. Mo said,
whichever game.
Mo Salah said he's the best player. He's Liverpool's best player.
He was pretty much our best player when he first came in the team.
That's what it's out. Let me see. I want to get more clarity with the quote. I'll see if I can get the entire quote.
No, he was marvelous when he first came in the team.
Let's see.
I mean, I'm a big fan, but even I wouldn't go that far, Mo.
It says, reflecting on the Egyptians' praise, Bajcetic told the Marca publication this week, when Salah tells you these things, you try not to get carried away with. You try not to get carried away. When Klopp or players of that caliber tell you these things, it gives you more confidence to go into training the next day and give more. You try to keep your feet on the ground and continue learning from the best.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he said that he's the best.
Yeah, Track Joe said there that he said he was our best player currently. That's what I thought. That's probably what it was. Yeah, at that time he was our best player, but he was around that time when he first came in the team. I mean, because we had great players in the team, but for him to come in out of nowhere at his age and play like that was outstanding. So yeah, it was deserved. Actually, I'm glad he said that. Yeah, just talking about like that current period.
He says, quote more on the quote. He says, "I hope it." This is Slot speaking, at least. I hope it will be a big year for him because he's a very talented player, and I think he could become a very important player for us, but only if he gets playing time now. He says, if you are that young and you've been out for so long, the only thing you need is playing time. You could have playing time over here, but we've got 6 or 7 very good midfielders. So his playing time here will always be more limited than we expect him to play at Salzburg. So for him and us, we think it's best for him to play at the moment instead of maybe playing a few times and then being on the bench for a long time again. It's very difficult to keep a player fit who's been out for 15 months when you only play him once in a while. And for next season, we'll have a player. If he fills his potential, he could definitely play for us in the future. That's what Slot said.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
But I mean, that's high praise to come from Mohamed Salah. Very high.
Yeah,
this was the exact quote. He says, after the victory over Everton, Salah, one of Liverpool's greatest players of the century, blah, 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 lavished praise on Bajcetic by saying he's a great player in person. He always tries to work hard since he started playing for us. He has been our best player, maybe. So hopefully he keeps that confidence and he keeps going.
Yeah, okay. That makes Now I can hear what he's saying. But it's like Slot was saying, yeah, we knew if he wasn't going to, he hadn't played in a year and a half, if he wasn't going to play every week, it was pretty much kind of a crucial period for him. So that loan was kind of perfect. But I think Slot is saying what we were all thinking. If he hadn't had that injury, he would have been in the Liverpool squad. You know, it's purely only to get him built back up to fitness and bring back. So, yeah, but we all remember when he came in. And I'll always remember, especially that game where he actually, Trent was out and we played him in the inverted right back role. Home, I can't remember who we were playing. It was late on in the season. And he started at right back and did the Trent thing. And he looked absolutely brilliant doing that. He really did. Because I think he started out as a defender like a lot of them do. But then he's just so good on the ball, moved into midfield. It's so natural.
Yeah, he's just short on the ball, isn't he?
Yeah, for such a young man, you can't really teach that kind of confidence, that just natural kind of just give me the ball, I know what to do with kind of thing. But yeah, him playing every week, like I said, a top team, especially in the Champions League, stay fit, fingers crossed, just stay fit and come back. And like Slot said, you could have a Gravenberch and Bajcetic midfield for next 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about that. Him with Graven McAllister is good news.
Right, real quick before we end, because we're going to end in the next under 10 minutes here. This player in particular is still gravitating some interest, or at least some speculation that he might be another target for us. I don't think he's a target. I don't think that he's a target in January we go and get him type target. Maybe in the summertime, especially if depending on what the year holds for Diego and for Darwin as our striker, and whether we revamp or some in some way or some form. But there is a current list of the players with the most goals per 90 in Europe this season. This player is actually in the top 5 in that list. He's doing extremely well for his Frankfurt club. There are some interesting names on there still, if you do put in the whole gambit of players that actually make the list for per 90. Mateo from Atalanta is number 1. Perez for Villarreal is number 2. Barcola is number 3. Marmouche is number 4, and Harry Kane ends up being in 5th place in the top 5 most goals per 90 this year in Europe. So, do you think? Yeah, do you think that this is a player that we need to go into the January market for? Do you think maybe if there's a case where a similar case which happened with Diaz or even with Cody, those are players that we.
Does anyone know which foot he prefers? Marmouche, is he left or right-footed? Please don't tell me that he's both-footed. But, every player has one foot that they prefer. There's no such thing as player who uses both feet just as good. Anyone got any idea?
He's right-footed.
Right-footed. Okay.
And also, I think Pops is looking at my Lucho shout. My Lucho shout for number 1 power ranking. Yeah. I didn't put it that way. It's the fact that he's been playing. I think Lucho's been playing well. Playing extremely well.
Just because he is right-footed doesn't mean he couldn't replace Mo.
I think that's what he's referencing, by the way. I don't think he was saying. I don't think he's asking if Lucho was number 1 on this power ranking list.
Right. So Marmouche plays on the left. Well, we don't need him if he plays on the left, do we? Because we've got 4 forwards who can play. We've got Nunes, Jota, Cody, and Diaz can all play on the left. We don't need.
He plays. He also plays. He's a striker too.
Yeah, it'd be a left footer. I'd be looking forward to replace Mo, not a right footer.
Mm-hmm. Again, 1.18 is what you're seeing from Kane. 1.19 is what you're seeing from Marmoush. 1.21 from Barcola. 1.22. Very close numbers there for Perez at number 2, and then Mateo is at for Atalanta at 1.28. He actually does have some separation from the pack when it comes to that. But this is a question. Just asking the question. Very talented. Bring him in.
Yeah. You can never have too many goal scorers, top quality players across your front line. You know, if you've got Jota with issues, if we've got maybe Chiesa, that doesn't work out.
Okay.
Sorry, one sec.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we haven't got a long time till January now anyway, so I suppose we will find out fairly soon, won't we?
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, like, I don't know if someone would have to tell me, because I don't watch many Frankfurt games. If it's worth the watch, I will.
As far as I know, Marmoush has come out and said he won't be leaving in January. We know that much. Like, but, you never know, do you? You can never say in football.
Yeah, you can never say never. But why I'm bringing up that point is because I don't know if Marmoush actually plays in a if he's a very committed counter presser, for instance. Is he going to, whether he plays left wing, he does, like I said, play the striker as well. Whether he plays either position, is he going to be, is he committed to being someone that might have to track back pretty deep to cover for a lot of the press that we perform, or even the defensive cover that we actually see our strikers and wingers provide for our team. Pops is asking a question to Brian, so I'll wait. When Brian gets back, I'll ask him that question. Pops, I'll bring it up. But yes, we're closing in quickly. It's been weird today because we're already closing in on this 2-hour mark, and it seems like we just started about 15 minutes ago. But that's just how it is. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. And that's what we always do on Friday. Yeah, Chiesa. I don't think the whole Chiesa thing, I think that's all like smoke and mirrors. I don't believe that Chiesa is going to be shipped back to I don't think he's going to be shipped back to Italy. And I think that we're going to continue to allow for him to work on his fitness. It'll make a big difference once we do get Diego back. You know what's interesting too? Someone I saw play, or at least I saw play. I was watching him in a highlight, and it made me think about the fact that he is apparently back. But have you noticed that we haven't heard that much about Dan's lately? We haven't really heard his name be thrown out there too much. I know he's been working his way back from a back injury. I know that he has gotten to some actual pitch time, but it was a player that a lot of people were very much sold on, or very highly anticipating seeing the player get his opportunities. He obviously made the most when he got the opportunities in the performances that he had. I think it was the cup match, the cup final that I saw him actually in, and it made me start thinking about, wonder what Dan's is doing right now. He's a player that obviously was someone out there that a lot of us were looking forward to seeing, still looking forward to see, be a part of the mix. But yep. I also let me see, bring this down. Nakano and Elliott have been training with the U21s this week. Dan's not too far away from resuming training. Ian's saying, okay.
Sorry.
We need him to be sharp and ready soon. I guess he's referencing you're referencing Chiesa or you're referencing Dan's. I'm not certain. Tell me who you're talking about, Pops. I know you're commenting on something I just said. And also, what was the Brian, there's a question for you from Pops. He's saying Mo, DVD, and Ali have raised their bars so high that we nitpick to bring them down even when they aren't at their best. He says, you should have started with Chiesa. We haven't seen him at all. And also, Mr. Locke has always said that he didn't expect much action in January. Actually, I do have a quote from that too. Thank you for reminding me. I'll say it before we bounce out of here. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, no, Pops, you're right. Yeah, I should have started. I was trying to give the kid a break, you know. I was just saying that earlier on, and we all know it's a pure luck, you know. And I was saying I'm losing a little bit of patience with Jota being this unlucky. I mean, again, it is unlucky, but I said there's only so much of that I'm prepared to eat. You know, it affects us after a while. So it's like when the lads were talking about Ibu last season. It was like, look, great player, good player, but if he's not going to be available all the time, then we need to move on. And if we're going to have someone like that, and like this Chiesa thing, as much as we all want that to work out, until it works out, it hasn't worked out, and we haven't seen him yet. And it's getting into the winter now, and all these silly little stories. I saw them at the start of the stream. AC Milan are still interested, and Chiesa would be interested in a move to AC Milan, and all of this stuff. So that's why I was saying bringing in a guy in January would be up there for me. You know, just in that attacking mold, just put pressure on everybody who is there, and to raise our game as well. But that's just in a perfect world. So that kid Marmoush, dude, if he's, like I said, if that's a Diaz thing, and we find out we can get him for 35 million, go in there, get it done, something like that.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
doesn't have to be him, you know, but something like that. And maybe he's a flash in the pan. I don't know. I'd never heard him before last year, of course.
Yeah.
But he's the flashy name at the moment. He's the one in the headlines. But hey, look, if you can transfer those numbers over here, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I'll have to bring that up on Sunday or Saturday or something like that. I'm not going to deal with that negativity right now.
Tarmizi. I haven't seen you in a long time, my friend.
Oh, big
long time.
Big up.
It's been more than a minute, as I say.
That's because he's probably like running Ironman competitions and you know, and marathons out there.
Gobi Desert or something,
yeah. doing John Wick things. Big up, Tarmizi. Definitely big up. Yeah. I hope we're not hearing Robbo is up for. Oh, you're talking about Robbo. Yeah, you know, I know that Barnes isn't exactly probably happy with that, Pops. You have to tell us whether that. I guess on. I know you guys have a show coming up later on, so today. So I'm sure there will be someone, if not yourself, that brings that up to Pops, brings that up to Barnes. I'm all for that, dude. By the way, Trap Joe, I would love to see Kubo. You know how big of a fan I am about Kubo. It would also be pretty cool for us utilizing the time that we do have another Japanese player on the team. You know, we're talking about how it's sometimes difficult to kind of simulate into the team when you don't have possibly someone to interact or talk with in your native language or native tongue. That would be it would be an awesome time for him to make that transition to the club and have that asset in Endo. But again, Marmoush, you know, has would be doing the same, you know. So it's just a matter of
well, yeah, Marmoush would have Salah, wouldn't he? Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah. Does that make it too easy a link? Because that's one of my red flags on that, because it just makes it's like, yeah, obviously Marmoush, Salah, or could that just be a byproduct? It's a genuine link, and that's just a byproduct of it.
It's like the thing with Ibu and Chouameni, isn't it? There's the thing there with them two, isn't it? Kubo and Enzo, Marmoush and Salah. It does help when you have, a fellow countryman there when you arrive. So it's always a good thing. That one does tantalise me, the idea of Ibu and Chouameni. I find tantalising, yes.
Right. And hopefully Robbo doesn't walk up and say, finally, we got a good Japanese player or something like that. Or whatever. Like that. He might be taking it might take it the wrong way. That's a reference to how he walked up to Gravenberch when he joined the club and was introduced to him. Just Robbo being Robbo, just being lighthearted.
But that's the thing, Trapp is saying, like, even though they are both, skillful attackers, Kubo and Marmoush are quite different by the sounds of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. One, Kubo can technically play on the left side, but he's a left-footed player, so he finds himself more as a 10, if not a striker, very rarely. But he also finds himself on the right wing more so when it comes to his skills, and then vice versa for...
I actually like Jared Bowen as a Modi placement. If Mo did leave in the summer, I think Jared Bowen would be a good Modi placement.
Excellent player. Excellent.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. I don't think he'd go down very well, but yeah, I'd have him all day long. He's a very unfashionable pick. You always get.
If you look at the way he plays and that, I think he could be a fit though.
On a team again that is like not doing well. Team that's trying to find their identity,
he's 10 plus goals every year minimum for West Ham. He's God knows what else in assists. He's proven. I don't know what more people want, but he's Jared Bowen, and he's not a big name, but he would guarantee you goals in the Premier League. I think so. Yeah.
The only thing about that shout is that he is 27, turns 28 in the summer.
Oh, is he already that old? Oh, right. Okay.
That's the only thing that he has going against him. When, maybe 10 years ago when he was 24, 25, a little different story, but I don't know if Liverpool would make a push for him at this stage, especially considering that West Ham is going to ask for a king's ransom.
Sizable fee.
I'd rather go for Kudus, probably, to be honest, if you're going to be spending that kind of money. But Bowen, I'd pick him up. If he was free in the summer, I'd be all over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kudus, different story. Kudus is a 24-year-old. They probably would look like they got him for 37 million. So I would assume that they probably would go for starting price would probably be 75 million for him.
Yeah,
probably.
That's a
for Kudus, that is. I'm saying for Kudus, possibly even higher. I know that there's been reports about it being even higher than that. I don't know if he has a release clause or not, but I know that's probably what they would ask for, especially if he's going to a English Premier League team, and especially if he's going to a big name English Premier League team.
That would seem just about a reasonable enough fee. 75 for Kudus, considering Man United spazzed about 75 million on Anthony and another 70 on Sancho, and Kudus would definitely be worth a punt at that price.
Sancho's interesting. You're talking about Sancho, the player that plays for Chelsea?
Yeah, I'm talking about his failure at United for the fee and Anthony's failure at United for the fee.
I'm going to say something. I don't know if it's controversial or not. I don't know if it's controversial, or I'll say a take. I think that Manchester United will recall Sancho to the team, especially since he's been playing half decent for Chelsea. I think they will.
New guy. New guy. He might come in
allow for a new start with the new manager. They'll allow for him to have a new start with the new manager.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's not a wild take. I don't know if that's a wild take or not. But
no, I was just saying, to justify the spend and say we did make an offer of 70 odd for Mohamed Kudus. Like it's not an outrageous amount considering how talented he is, and the potential he could have in our side. I'd be much happier spending it on him than Bowen. I think, like, because he's younger than Bowen.
Yeah. Let's see. Kudus and Boeing have their Premier League experiences as an advantage. They do have that experience as an advantage for certain. I also think that
Bowen's
the one
proven.
thing about with West Ham. Oh, sorry, Brent.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Bowen has proven. So, like, Bowen scored goals for Hull in the Premier League. Like that's why he got them. I think he scored 10 or 11 for them all off the right wing. Yeah, if you want proven, that's it. But he is very West Ham, isn't he? Maybe Tottenham. You see him at Tottenham maybe next, but he's not going to go to a Man City or he's not going to go to Liverpool or an Arsenal. But on a free transfer, he'd be a great pickup. Definitely, he would be brilliant. Wouldn't cause you a problem. But Kudus, the guy I'd still go for. I know he's on the wrong side, but if you're doing something, I'd still go for Inaki Williams or Neko Williams. Sorry, no, I still go for Neko Williams. That's a player I'd still like to bring in. Not sure if that's possible.
Yeah, that's another King's ransom probably.
Yeah, he's going to go someone big though. He's going to go someone big.
Yeah.
And Barcelona can't buy all the wingers, and Real Madrid don't need them. So
it's true. I mean, Barcelona's been in the journos being in the market for Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
I just think that with West Ham, the unique thing about West Ham, I was going to say is, I'll allow for you to finish it. I thought you were about to say. Do you want to say something? Finish it real quick.
No, I was just saying. They released it the other day that they leaked the five name list of Barcelona's wanted wingers, and it was Salah, Salah, Cava, Williams, and two other guys really obvious. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, it was like Mo Salah's name was on it as one of their 5. I was thinking he maybe just added on a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I was just going to say with the West Ham shout, because I see Robert, big up Robert, by the way, and big up to Philip. Good to see you guys in the chat. He's asking what's Kudus's best position. He feels like a player that just won't fit into what we are doing. I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to these players. I know that like on paper, a lot of these players might sound good because you're looking at them scoring for other teams and scoring for other in other circumstances, and you have to put that onto the scale of whether it really works out for us as well, because some of these players might be playing in systems suited to them, and this system might just not be the system for them. It might be a situation where they're a talented player, but they aren't interested in playing in the role that we would have to play them in, or maybe it's a case where because a player is playing better than they are in that role or in that position, they'll have to find another pathway towards getting on the pitch, and it might not be the one that is in their mind, the one that they want to perform at. So it's wild takes sometimes.
If he was come to Liverpool, he himself, in this side right now, this team right now, he would want to play in the Szoboszlai role. That he wouldn't want to play in the Diaz role or a Salah role. He wants to play in that attacking 8, number 10. That's what he sees himself as. They play him wide because he's really good. He's just that talented. But you can play him up front. You can play him anywhere really. But he sees himself as Harvey Elliott's position, Dom's position, Curtis Jones. That's where he would want to play. And I think that is his best position as well, by the way.
Even
though his numbers are top in Europe right now for successful take-ons, successful dribbles. So that just shows you how good he is, even playing out of position. Ajax played him up front and stuff, but yeah, he's playing in the middle, get forward.
Yeah. So. Any words about Reece Williams, is he out of Liverpool? Reece Williams is trying to find his way into the promise that he showed at one point of his career. I hope that he finds it, and it's not at the greatest moment, but I've read journos out there that have said that I think it was Trent Alexander-Arnold actually gave him some words of encouragement to keep his head up, despite the fact that he's playing at a lower level club, having been a player that was once playing, as a starter, and in some cases, for this club. He is now finding himself trying to figure out how to regain that level in his life. So I hope that he does well. He finds it. He keeps the confidence in his head high. Max says Kudus will fit anywhere. What a player, future world beater.
Okay. Yeah, he will fit anywhere. That's the whole point about that guy. You could probably play him anywhere, and that's hugely. It's not being like a versatile type guy, but it's kind of guy where he could step up and be as good as most other players in the Premier League, even if you played him out of position in your team.
Yeah,
but play him in his best role. But yeah, like you said, he will cost. Like they held out for 90 million for Paqueta, and they paid about the same that they paid for him. So they'll want a double. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, they can easily say 85 million, 90 million for someone like Kudus. That's what it will cost you. So yeah, probably.
Well, maybe tomorrow that's what we'll do too. There's a Netherlands-Hungary matchup tomorrow. It's obviously a part of the Nations League, and that will obviously have a few of our Dutch players playing in that game for Netherlands, and it'll certainly have Dominic playing in the lineup for. I think actually Virgil is allowed to play in that game too. I think he's done his suspension or finished the suspension for the red card, right? So he'll be eligible for that game. I think.
Who?
Virgil.
That's right. He got sent off, didn't he? Yeah, and he came home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think he's eligible for that game, so he'll be back as the skipper for them.
Yeah. How many games did he miss? Just one?
I think he only missed one game.
One game ban. Yeah, it wasn't like a straight red for violent conduct. So it was just one game ban.
Okay.
Because there was the big fuss, do you remember? Because he went home, or he came back to Liverpool as well, and all the Dutch. Well, some of the Dutch guys were like, "Well, he should have stayed because he's the captain."
Yeah.
So they were like, "Look, he's got a week off. Let him go and recuperate."
Yeah. That's why it's interesting. And I think that they played who did they play? They end up was it Hungary that they played, or was Germany they played, I think, right? But he missed the game out. He missed either the Hungary game or the Germany game. He missed out on the Germany game. Yeah, he got the red card in the Hungary game.
So it's a reverse fixture now.
Yeah, and now I guess it's weird. It's weird how they do. I don't know how exactly they're doing it. Like, so because they must do it where it's like, because they played Germany, they played Hungary, so now they're playing Germany, or they just played Germany, right?
Yeah, home away.
Right.
That would be it. They just played a reverse fixtures, home away, because they're tiny little groups. The Nations League groups are really small. I think it's only 4 teams.
I was saying that only because here we're playing. So we played Jamaica yesterday, and then we play them Monday. So it's not like it's not like we're playing some other team. That's why I was wondering. I understand the whole return fixture. I just thought that they would do the return fixture in the same window, as opposed to different windows.
Oh, as in like play Hungary home and away and then play Germany home and away.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably fucking UEFA,
Yeah.
Whatever. You would have thought that would make sense to maybe do that, or I don't know. Maybe they want to switch it up a little bit. But
yeah, it's weird.
Germany is a good place to have football because it's very central, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You can get to all the major countries. That's where I think, like, I think most of the major European football tournaments should be held in Germany because it's basically it's built for football. They have the best stadiums, and everyone can basically drive there.
Yeah, they've got really good infrastructure, haven't they? Like for public transport as well.
It's interesting. No, because they played, for instance, Holland played Bosnia and they won 5-2. Then they played Germany. Then they played Hungary. Now they played and then they played Germany again. Now they're going to play Hungary, and then they're going to play on the 19th. Their final game is against Bosnia. Like, they haven't seen Bosnia since September 7th.
Yeah, Germany versus Holland is a huge grudge match. That's basically like you imagine Liverpool versus Manchester United, and then add in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
That's how, like, that is it. Obviously, it's not as big as it used to be with the whole, 80s type stuff, but that is a serious game. So VVD doesn't want to be missing those kind of games. But stop it now, Kevin.
I know. I saw that. I just they lost that game 1-0 to Germany on the 14th of October. They drew the game against Hungary 1-1 in that game. That he got the red card. That is Virgil van Dijk. But it's just interesting because, I mean, like, a lot can change. And, like, you think that, yeah, if you play a team, you should possibly play, if you're going to do it the home and away, play that team in the week. But considering hypothetically you don't have someone available because of injury, in that first game against them,
well, this is qualifying.
They played him September 7th. And their next game against them is November 19th. That's obviously September, October. That's like 3 months of difference, or 3 months worth of difference between the dates.
The way European teams were playing Nations League, what are the South American teams playing in South America?
They're right now. South America are doing actual qualification.
For what? Qualification for what?
For World Cup.
All right, okay.
They're doing World Cup qualifications. That's why it was a big win for Paraguay over Argentina. Helped solidify themselves as being a possible team to make it to the World Cup. And especially since they have a couple, I think they got an extra slot or two opened up to them now that the World Cup's a bigger event. And then, Nation League is going on in not only Europe, but also in America too. So that is what it is. That is what it is. What we are going to.
This guy's got all his friends coming out of the woodwork, hasn't he, Mr. Coot? All his so-called friends coming out with these crazy. It's starting to get to the point where I'm like, I don't know. I don't believe some of the things these people are saying because it's all a bit mad, really, isn't it? But I think he won the international break, didn't he? I think David Coot won the international break.
Yeah.
He gave us all something to talk about anyway. For a week he filled in the media gap.
Him and the questionable company he keeps.
Yeah. They definitely did. I don't know where that is. What is that country? Yeah, some good games that are lined up for some of the international flavor of the weeks, and again, maybe we could do like a loose watch along of the game, since it'll probably be on during our broadcast, being the Holland versus Hungary matchup. Especially since I saw the talk about Kudus possibly performing better in that 10 role. I do have a piece that I'm going to put out. It might not necessarily, it might either be a piece that I put out where it's just a pre-recorded piece, or I might do it live. We'll just decide on that. Scotland 1, Croatia 0. I see you, Bonkers, with the update. Appreciate that. I was gonna look up this real quick. Where is this country?
What country?
Give me 1 second. Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, that's why. Because they're not in. That's interesting. Because it's in South America, but they're playing in our Nations League, so that's why it's very interesting. That's the country I thought it was, but Suriname or Suriname.
Suriname, yeah.
Suriname is a country in South America. It's the Republic of Suriname. It's like in northern South America, but it's considered to be part of the Caribbean and the West Indies. And yet, despite it being a part of South America, they are in CONCACAF. That's why I was wondering why they were. So they've made it to the quarterfinals. They're playing against the Canucks. Against Barnes and Crabs. Canucks are going to be facing off against them today.
Short answer on that is colonialism. But Suriname is where all a lot of the Dutch black players are from. Yeah, their heritage is from Suriname, like Seedorf. Just endless. There's loads of them. Their heritage is in Suriname because the Dutch used to own. Suriname was part of their colonies. So that's why a lot of them can. If you're from Suriname, you can move to Holland. Yeah, so that's why a lot of the players there, like Seedorf, Hullet, probably not sure about Hullet, but a lot of really strong link there.
Suriname heritage,
most of a lot of the modern lads, that's their link. That's where their heritage goes back to. But that's because it used to be, again, owned by the Dutch, which I think that's why it's part of the, like you're saying, the West Indies and all that gets put into that part of it. All goes back to that kind of shit.
Yeah, just wondering. I know that because I used to when I lived in DC, I used to play soccer or football with a bunch of people from Guyana, which is next to Suriname. So that's what I was just wondering.
Yeah, that's French Guyana. So that used to be called French Guyana.
Yeah,
so that's that whole
that's
area.
The thing. Yeah, it used to be like and it used to be like I think the two countries are like kind of like, despite them having obviously the colonialism that you're talking about, they were still countries that were very intertwined a little bit.
Oh yeah, literally, like there's a border. It's the difference between you get a French passport and you get a Dutch passport.
Right.
That's literally that's what it was. Like there's a lot of French players. Their heritage is from Guyana as well. But the Surinamese, like we could do that actually. I could send it to you. I'll put it together. But like a Surinamese 11 of players who would have qualified to play for them would be a serious team. It would be a serious team. So would that French Guyana team. And no, Trap Joe, it would not. It would probably be 12-0 because I cannot play football on consoles. I can't. I cannot play. I've never been able to play football on a console. I am the worst FIFA, whatever they call it, PS Soccer. I'm the worst player at that in the world.
I haven't played it since I moved in here, and that was 23 years ago. Like a footy game.
No, I never liked them.
Yeah, I was quite good. I was all right. My little brother was a bit better because he was actually a kid, without a man. But he liked FIFA, my brother, in the 90s when he was a kid.
Yep. Definitely big up to each and every one of you guys out there, and ladies as well. Big up to Kevin, Bonkers, Trap Joe, Robert. See you guys. Jimmy, Ian, Red Armchair Supporter, Max. See you guys all speaking freely in the chat. Shout out to M. Tarmizi if you're still with us, or if you're back out on the run, or something, doing your marathon miles. Shout out to obviously Bernie as well. And who else do we see in the chat today? Bunch of names, bunch of good people. Definitely always good people. Nothing less expected. Psychedelic scientists. Dara was here. KJ was here. Who else was here as well? I think I even saw one of our, I guess you could call them, I don't know, a lot of people don't necessarily refer to Arsenal as one of our rivals. So, but certainly one of our contenders for the title. Luca, I saw was in the chat earlier. Who else did we see in the chat? We also had Bonkers and High Lord, obviously, bringing us our daily dose of news and updates. Did I miss anyone? I'm trying to think if I missed anyone that I didn't say. I think I said everyone. May got everyone in there. Maybe Red for Life. I don't know if I said Red for Life.
These days,
Edward. I didn't say. I don't know if I said Edward. Big shout out to Edward too. He was. These are all people early.
Sorry to jump in there. Like say the PlayStation nowadays in 2024. I remember it like from the 90s, but you can play someone in a different country at FIFA, couldn't you? You could sort that out where you can play someone from it. Because I always used to play my brother at FIFA because obviously I lived in my Mars and so did they. But
it's all online now.
Yeah,
it's all online.
You got this thing called the internet. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's all about playing people.
Wild stuff on it, man.
I like
no, for most people, the idea of like playing a video game on a console on their own would be alien. Like kids play, like kids just play every game they play is an online multiplayer game. Like it's very most like I'm not saying they don't do it.
About that, you see, got no kids.
Oh yeah, it used to be called basically when I was young. Like when I was young, you used to be called like a video gamer or a gamer or whatever. But now it's like the people who do that are called solo players. There's a separate group of them because the majority of games are set up so you do something in a team of 4 online.
Yeah,
or you play against somebody
games
online.
Against people from abroad and everything all over the world, like Mortal Kombat and all them ones, like Street Fighter, Streets of Rage. I'd love to play all them against people from.
I was really bad at them as well. I was so bad at
I like them all.
I couldn't ever do those combo moves. I was so bad at that shit, man. I was so bad. I always used to get the shit kicked out of me in the Street Fighter 2 and Tekken, especially Tekken. Obsessed over those people. They're like, come over to my house and play me a Tekken. I'll beat you in like 3 seconds. Like that sounds like fun.
Yeah. Well, at least you don't. I mean, like if you play Mortal Kombat, at least Tekken's one thing to get beat. That's all well and good. But like Mortal Kombat, they can do the finishing moves on them, and that's even like
Yeah, there's those. What I remember when
Mortal Kombat was a bit violent for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if I used to play one of my mates who was good at them fighting games and I couldn't beat his character, there was always one move you could find that your character could do that you couldn't really block, and you just do that move for the whole thing until you'd won.
Yeah, exactly. Electric guy.
I mean, we're all big kids, but my mate never used to take it well getting beat. So if I did that to him, say like I'd crouch down and just kick his leg down on the floor, and he wouldn't be able to stop me and like then kill him.
Don't give away your tips. Don't give away your secrets.
He was mental, my mate Ronnie.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go. Definitely. Real quick, who do you have in this upcoming big match tonight?
It's going to be 4 a.m. It's going to be 4 a.m. our time by the time they fight, probably.
Who do you have? Getting the victory in this? Do you have Paul or do you have Mike?
It's hard to go with Iron Mike, really, isn't it? considering that he
He's
hasn't
like 50 some
boxed in
years
about
old. Yeah. How old is Mike Tyson? He's like 50,
55, 56, something like that. Hasn't boxed in about 30 years. Well, not 30 years, 20 odd years. I don't know, man. One punch should knock him out, but
yeah, we used to sit up till 3 in the morning in Britain to watch Mike Tyson. I was in school then, and half the time it was on a school night as well. You'd have to sit up till 3 in the morning just to watch him decimate somebody in 1 or 2 rounds. Tyson would do them in basically 1, 2, and 3 rounds, and you'd sat up all night, like. But it was well worth it, mate.
Oh, it was worth it. Yeah, it was worth it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Trevor Berbick's legs when he jumped Trevor Berbick. I think that was when he got the title, wasn't it, versus Trevor Berbick? When Mike Tyson first won the title, I think it was Trevor Berbick, the Canadian, and that punch hit him. Berbick's legs were hilarious the way they went, where he tried
58 years old. 58 he is. That's how old he is.
Yeah. I know, but I can't back that poll, dude, so I'm going to have to go with.
Yeah, I want Tyson to win. Yeah.
Because it's going to be 2-minute rounds, not 3. And they're wearing heavier gloves, so they won't be able to throw as hard, which kind of makes sense. Yeah. But it's not like a full on fight. It's not 3 rounds. It's not 3-minute rounds. It's not a full 12 rounds either. I think it's like 9, maybe something like that. But one good punch from Tyson is taking this guy out. So.
Yeah, how much younger is this? I've never seen this Jake Paul. I've only heard his name.
He's not Jake Paul. It's the other guy, isn't it? It's no, it's not Logan. Yeah, it's Jake. Yes. What is it?
Jake Paul. Apparently, the guy's famous or something. But I've never seen him. I've only ever heard the name.
Yes, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
And who is he anyway? Is he like mixed martial arts?
Yeah, and Mike Tyson's 58, Kevin, not 57. He was born 1966. So he is 58 years old.
Yeah. Like if it becomes just a war of attrition, just grabbing, like the younger guy is probably going to have it, but just one good punch from our Mike is going to take this boy out. He's a nothing. Like his older brother was a famous YouTuber, one of the first like famous like big American YouTubers that became a millionaire from it. And so his younger brother basically decided, I'm going to have some of this, and then he got into the whole that whole macho sphere. You know, it's all about MMA and all that, but he kind of got into like celebrity fights and stuff, and I think he's done 10 fights now, but they're against like former MMA people or other YouTubers.
I've never even seen a still of him. I don't know what he looks like.
He looks like an idiot with, a big chin. He's got a big chin. That's the only thing I'll say about this boy. Him and his brother, they both have very big chins. They've got big heads, and he got a big chin. It's a big target, that chin. It really is. It's a big fucking target for someone like Tyson.
There you go. There you go, right there. That's what it looks like.
Oh, no words of a lie. That is a big chin. You know.
Oh no, I won't exaggerate. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He looks like a dickhead, that fella.
Yeah, you get a side profile of that guy, even without the beard, he's got a big fucking chin on him.
I think that if you are going to stay up for that, then I'm sure my friend, your friend, our fellow brethren, I believe Cal has a MMA channel, and he will definitely be covering that as well. The Sanderson Show is what it's called. I'm sure he'll be taking on that endeavor of watching 4 a.m. You're saying it's going to be on? That's late.
That's what they're. Well, it's obviously.
Now you guys get to feel a little bit of the pain, some of the pain that I have to go through when trying to watch some of the noon kickoffs that we have to. That I have to wake up or stay.
No, 100%. No, it's just like there's a hell of a lot of like undercard. There's a lot of undercard. So it was obviously boxing matches. So they were speculating potentially it will be around 4 a.m. looking at the amount of fights that are on before it. But if they're all 1-round fights, they could all be 10-round fights. So but that's what they're saying. Yeah, if you're going to be watching it in Ireland, you're looking at 3-4 a.m. But as Kevin is saying, it's 2-minute rounds, and Rob is bang on. I'd say Tyson after 4 rounds. That's probably, I mean, 3 maybe. You know, because
wait, how many rounds are they going? How many rounds?
I think there's 9. I think there's 9, but it's 2-minute rounds instead of 3. I think there's like it's normally they've shortened the length of the rounds, and they've shortened whatever it would normally be. So if it's 12, I think it normally be 12 rounds, right? So I think it's at most 10. So they've shortened the whole thing a little bit. But yeah, Tyson, you can only have so much in you. Like boxing is incredibly tiring. I tried it a few times. It's like, yeah, you don't get throwing punches. You think you can stand in there? No, 2 minutes throwing punches, you're done. I'd rather run 10K. I mean, it wrecks you. It absolutely wrecks you. So
it does.
Tyson hasn't done it in 30 years. He's been out the game. You know, it's I don't want to see a man like Tyson get get beaten up by a dickhead like that guy.
I think Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. I think. I'm pretty sure he did.
He quit on his stool against the Irish guy. Did he come? Did he do or like an exhibition type thing or something? I'm sure he's been in the gym. I'm telling you, would you like to take a punch from Mike Tyson? Would you be up for taking a punch from Mike Tyson still right now? I would.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. It would be. What's that movie? It would be the Hangover.
Yeah.
Does Logan Paul have that punch? Jake Paul, does he have the power to do that? I don't think Jake Paul has the power to shock Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I think Mike's still got to dig on him.
Yeah, Jake Paul is going to grapple him and try and grind him down. I guarantee you he's going to try and make it like he's not going to go punch for punch. Maybe he might try and land 1 or 2, but he's still going to be scared of Tyson. He's still going to be scared of him. This guy knows Tyson knows he's old, but he knows he's the real deal. This Logan thingy guy, he's a fraud, and he knows he is. But he's getting paid $30 million for this fight. Paul is. And Tyson is only getting around a half of what he's getting. So he's the draw apparently. This Paul guy is getting paid basically double what our Mike is. So that tells you all you need to know about boxing right now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
$30 million for this idiot to fight on Netflix.
It's 10 rounds. It's 10 rounds.
10 rounds.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, people, if anybody is actually interested in watching this and might not know it or whatever, I'm not going to break any rules.
8 rounds. Excuse me, 8 rounds.
Tonight
8 rounds. Yeah, short.
Tonight
there's a title fight. There is a title fight tonight, and it's a women's title fight. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano will be the fight before that for the women's junior welterweight championship, and that will go 10 rounds. And then there's also another title fight also on the card. Mario Barrios versus Abel Ramos. And that's a 12-round fight. So
proper fights. There's actual proper fights going on. And Katie Taylor is getting paid big money for that. She's getting paid $3 million. But just in case anybody is interested in watching this, I'm not going to break any rules here. I'm just saying there are people. They've been doing it since 11. This is how big this day is. It's been going since 11 a.m. here, which was 10 hours ago. They're live streaming this on YouTube. That's all I'm going to say. They shouldn't be, but there are people out there live streaming this whole event on YouTube. So
probably by the time it gets to the actual big events,
potentially, but I'd imagine so. But right now, there's still people live streaming this on YouTube.
Yeah, the fight will be contested over 8 2-minute rounds with 14-ounce gloves and sanctioned as a professional bout by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations.
They were the ones who gave Tyson the license to fight. Because Tyson, there were other people saying he shouldn't be allowed to fight. Yeah, but it was Texas Sport that gave him the license. That's why it's in Texas.
Not a surprise. Not a surprise. Things are done differently in Texas.
Yeah.
Move everything and anything. It's done a little bit different in Texas. It was funny. Some little girl interviewed Tyson and asked him about legacy. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did see something about that.
Say what?
He just said he doesn't care about legacy. He just wants to, like, you know.
Have you seen Mike Tyson's one show, have you, that he does on stage, The Undisputed Truth? I think it was, I don't know, it was recorded for HBO or for someone like that. He's on stage, his John King impression is dead funny. But the whole show is dead funny. I think he is a funny guy, Mike. Like, he really comes across.
Tyson's a funny bastard, man.
Sorry?
Tyson's a funny bastard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's great at taking the piss out of himself.
Yeah.
He's really good at taking, like, he just has, like, he has comic timing. Like, like when he's in that Hangover and stuff like that.
I can't remember the other boxer's name, but there's another boxer who he boxed and he hated him. They hated each other, and he was always saying, Tyson's FAG, you know what I mean? He used to get his back up. And he said he had a fight with him outside a nightclub, and he said this other boxer was on PCP this night, and every time he said he got up on a car bonus or something, this other boxer, and Tyson knocked him off it, but he got straight back up because he was on PCP.
Yeah.
That's funny the way he told the story on stage. Brilliant stuff, like, and the John King impression.
Well, we cannot avoid getting closer to the 3-hour mark, as always. 3 hours, 4 hours. That's how we normally
People keep coming in.
I know.
Late doors, you know.
I know. But we are going to have to shut it down right now. Some scores again. Switzerland, Serbia has gone final. It's a 1-1 draw. Spain has beaten Denmark 2-1 in their matchup. Portugal has beaten Poland 5-1 in their matchup. Switzerland, Serbia 1-1, and Robbo, I believe Robbo started this one. Yeah, he did. As the captain, Robbo got to see Scotland get a 1-0 victory over Croatia.
Kovacic was playing.
Could win that.
Who's that?
I was hoping Kovacic was playing tonight, like, and that he might get a knock.
Yeah. Looks like also the U21s finally. The U21s for England and Spain played today earlier too, but that was a 0-0 draw. So
that was
people
on YouTube too.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Legitimately, they show.
I think they show those games legitimately.
All those UEFA teams, they show the UEFA channels. They show anything that's like under 21s. Yeah. They show it all for free live all the time.
Which is good. It means
it's really good. They're promoting the game.
Brings attention to the game, brings attention to the players and the likes. But shout out to everyone out there. Big up. We will definitely put in the hard work. This is what we do on this channel. We've got some great stuff for you guys tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to do a little pseudo watch along of the Holland Hungary game. Maybe tomorrow actually is a good day to lead into it. I don't want to jinx Dom, but maybe I'll bring that in for tomorrow, because I do want to do a piece that I put together on Dominic. I have a piece on Darwin. I have some spotlight pieces basically, but certainly solidifying some of your opinions possibly in the positive direction for our players. So hopefully that's the case. If not, hey, to each is their own, to everyone as well. So we're going to be leaving, but we certainly don't want to see you gone. So we will allow for Brian to give a shout, and then Lee to give a shout, and I'll just say my piece, and then we'll be able to move on. So with our Friday, so Irishman, it's up to you. What would you like to say?
Okay. Hello, Mrs. Good news story of the week. Yesterday, the last 2 days, Coco got really bad again, and her legs were gone, and it was rough. So she wasn't able to walk or do anything. So 2 minutes ago, she just walked in. So she's gotten up and walked for the first time now in 2 days. So
Awesome.
I've given her some treat, and so she's just showing up now. So on her own, she's walked in. She's brilliant. She's back.
Hey.
Coco's like, all right, show's over.
Yeah.
End the stream. End the stream now.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Coco, we definitely hope that you continue your pursuit towards better health for sure.
The continuing adventures of Coco.
Yes, definitely. Coco's going to get her own channel pretty soon. And also, Lee, what do you have to say to the people before we let them enjoy the rest of their Friday, if not Saturday?
Thanks for your contributions, everyone. Thanks for being here. Has a laugh. I'll see you again tonight.
Okay.
Good night. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches, definitely for sure. Big games. Going to be some interesting watch-alongs, I'm sure. There's going to be other channels that are going to be broadcasting live. So, as I like to say, I try to make it an effort to, get those channels out. I'm not sure if Quasi is going live or Beijing Reds TV is going live, maybe even Copish or something like that. But certainly go over if you do. Say hey, give them a big shout. Say that you got the message from the channel here. Maybe they'll do the same to help promote our channel here too. And hey, great news also is that you're a Red, Brian's a Red, Brian's a Red, Lee's a Red, I'm a Red, and we're all top of the leagues. Top of the leagues, people. So until tomorrow, I would like to say peace, and also up the Reds, people, up the Reds. Take care, guys.